Just a reminder, by the way, every Thursday from 5 o'clock you can hear the EFL Fan Network with Dan Fudge here on Talksport 2 as he speaks with club-dedicated podcasters discussing all the big stories surrounding their team. If you do miss the live show, you can listen back on the Talksport app. Well worth a listen, and it's available as a podcast as well. Just search for the EFL All Access feed. Atmosphere building very nicely indeed here at the CBS Arena. Adrian Clark, former Arsenal midfielder, alongside me. We've got Joe Shannon, our match commentator, as well. Just going back to that discussion on Frank Lampard and his message throughout this season. When we see teams go up, it's so often, isn't it, that they're just consistent throughout the season. They manage to grind out results and they managed to get the job done by the end of that campaign. It's a strange situation, this one, for Lampard, because that start was so good. And I feel that he's been right to point out to supporters that dips like this do happen in football. And the key message right now is not to panic too much.
I mean, of course they happen in football. No one ever really goes on a serene run to the title, you know, winning every single game. It just doesn't happen. And it's part of a team's journey is to grow and to help them grow is to how you respond to setbacks. And they've had a few lately, but they've got the players. There's no doubt about that. They've got the players that are good enough to get Coventry City into the top two come the end of the season. And tonight is the acid test because they're playing the most informed team. Probably not just the most informed team in the Championship. The most informed team in the country right now are Middlesbrough. So this is going to be a serious challenge.
I think he gave us some good perspective in his pre-match press conference, did Frank Lampard. He was asked if he was nervous, and he said, yes, the nerves of this game is for Coventry to fight to try and get back to being first in the league. That's an amazing thing. And I think that is exactly the sort of positivity that he should, and I'm sure that he is, putting across to his players in the build-up to a game like this. Coventry have not been in the Premier League since they went down in 2001. That's a heck of a long time. But to be fighting for a return to the top flight after 25 years, yes, it's pressure, but it's great pressure. The biggest pressure in football is when you're at the bottom of the league. The top of the league is something that I think those Coventry players should be relishing, should be enjoying. And as a player, surely you look forward to nights like this.
Oh, big time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the right kind of pressure. When you're feeling something, it's a positive thing, isn't it? And these players will be feeling a serious adrenaline rush right now, especially when they come out onto this playing surface. It looks resplendent, doesn't it? The CBS Arena is barely a spare seat right now. We've still got quite a few minutes till kick-off. It is going to be electric. And these are the nights that you dream of being a part of as a footballer. And it's down to you. If you can turn it on a night like this, you know you've got something about you. And there'll be a lot of excitement from both teams tonight, as well as the obvious nerves.
As Clarkey points out, it's becoming difficult to find an empty seat here at the CBS Arena with 7 minutes to go until kick-off. I want to ask you about Middlesbrough. Those players in that changing room will be coursing with confidence. And in terms of their style tonight, Riley McGree has said that Kim Hellberg's style is controlled chaos. What a way to put it. We know they like to dominate the ball, though. How easy will they find that tonight?
They won't find it easy because Coventry will get after them. They'll look to press them in the right areas. There's no doubt about that. The controlled chaos is a nice line because it is chaos. They will press really frenetically, Middlesbrough. But when they have it, they pop the ball around lovely, but they move all around the pitch. It is very fluid. You've got players popping up in different areas. The two central midfielders, Hackney and Morris, they'll be up here, there and everywhere. They'll cover the whole pitch. So that's a really good description of the way that Borough play.
I think it's quite telling, Ollie, the amount of praise that he's had from his players, given that he's only been in charge for 16 games. I mean, I look at what Alan Brown said the other day, Championship Player of the Month. He just won that award, and he said that Kim Hellberg, and this is a guy, Alan Brown, who's worked under a lot of good managers, been around for a long time, was played under Regis Lebris at Sunderland last season. He said that Kim Hellberg is already the best in possession coach that he's ever worked with. That is high praise.
That is unbelievable. But when I watch them, and I've watched a fair bit of Middlesbrough recently, they have blown me away with the patterns of play, with the speed of it. You can see that they have worked so hard on the training grid, on the training pitch, and they're fitter, they're sharper, they're more confident. But tonight, under the lights here at the CBS, this will test them. Are they able to replicate that against one of the toughest opponents in the division? Well, we're about to find out.
We have a full-on light show going on here at the CBS Arena as the noise level rises. There is fire flying into the air. You know that it is a big night in the Championship. Adrian, there's so much attacking talent on both sides. Who do you expect to shine tonight?
Wow, that's a tough question because there's a lot of it. Well, for Middlesbrough, Hayden Hackney is unbelievable. He's a Premier League player in waiting. He will be in the top flight, whether it's with Middlesbrough or somebody else. He's class as that all-round box-to-box midfielder. The flair player for Middlesbrough is Morgan Whittaker. He was lost before, a little bit under Rob Edwards. He was very inconsistent, a little bit lackadaisical. Well, Kim Helberg has brought the best out of him, and he looks so much sharper. Then you go on the Coventry side. I mean, you're looking at Matt Grimes. Grimes v Hackney is a great midfield duel. Two of the very best at what they do. Jack Rodoni, I love him. I think he's a real talented player. Lampard-esque in the way that he breaks into the box to score goals. And then they've got Haji Wright, who's a sort of enigmatic front man that on his day can be unplayable, but he hasn't had many of those days of late.
Very exciting stuff as the teams make their way out here at the CBS Arena. Fireworks flying into the sky. They know how to put on a show, and we are expecting one hell of a show on the pitch tonight. The top two going centre stage live on Talksport 2. Adrian Clark, come on then, give me your prediction. How's this one going to go?
I'm predicting goals. I believe both teams will score. I think it could be a shootout. Who's going to outscore one another? I've got to say that I think Coventry can turn it around tonight. I'm going to go. They've got a fantastic record over recent times. I think they're unbeaten in 9 against Middlesbrough. Tonight could be the night that the Sky Blues turn things around.
How important is the start going to be for both sides? You just feel that if Borough can get under the skin of the Coventry players and the supporters here, it could be a good night for them.
Start brightly and put Cov onto the back foot. Let's see who's going to be the bravest, who's going to take this match by the scruff of the neck and play their natural game. I cannot wait for this contest. These are the two best teams in the division this season, and tonight is going to tell us plenty about their promotion credentials.
Adrian, thank you so much. Live football coming your way on the Talksport network this week. Tomorrow night from 7, Adrian Durham takes you round the grounds with all the goals as they go in from the Champions League playoffs and the EFL. Whilst here on Talksport 2, Benfica take on Real Madrid. Then Wednesday, Wolves against table-topping Arsenal in the Premier League on Talksport from 8 o'clock. Don't forget to Coventry's trip to West Brom will be live here on Talksport 2 this Saturday at 12:30. But right now, they have a real task on their hands. Middlesbrough, the new league leaders, are in town. Can Frank Lampard force his side back to the top of the table, or will hell-raising Helberg and his bouncing Borough side kick on for their 7th win in a row and extend their lead at the summit of the second tier? It's first against second in the Championship. EFL nights don't get much bigger on the Talksport network. So let's hand over to your Coventry team here at the CBS Arena. The former Arsenal and Southend winger Adrian Clark, alongside your match commentator for tonight's game, Joe Shannon.
Thanks, Ollie. A game much anticipated for weeks, but who would have said that after the two teams last met in November? That night, Frank Lampard's Coventry moved 10 points clear at the top, a seemingly unassailable lead. Enter Kim Helberg at Middlesbrough, coupled with, relatively speaking, a Coventry goal drought, and the Sky Blues lead has not just been eaten away, but outright eroded altogether. There are 5 teams involved in the race for automatic promotion, but these two are the Championship's best. This stadium is packed, the lights are on, let the two heavyweights go head to head, let the drama unfold. Well, the first thing that Middlesbrough have done is won the coin toss and turn the teams around. So Coventry will attack the south stand in the first half from left to right, all in sky blue. Middlesbrough in red will play from right to left towards the north end of the stadium. Both teams in a huddle ahead of kick-off, and the Coventry fans are in fantastic voice. It is a very special atmosphere on a very special night. These are the Championship's two Premier clubs, both aiming for a spot in the Premier League. It is second against first, Coventry against Middlesbrough, the game of the Championship season so far, and the top-flight destination for all of your EFL football is right here and only on Talksport 2. Coventry, from left to right, get the game underway. Grimes back to goalkeeper Rushworth, who takes a couple of touches, hammers the ball high downfield. It swirls towards the Coventry right, and Matt Targett with the covering header away from the left-back position for Middlesbrough, who have 2,000 supporters away to the right-hand side, but I must say they've been drowned out by the sheer noise of the Coventry supporters so far this evening. I remind you the two teams in full in just a moment, but Middlesbrough have to defend a long throw here, which is going to be taken by Milan van Ewijk of Coventry, the right full-back inside the first minute. Very flat delivery, headed away and flicked further clear by Hayden Hackney. So Rushworth in goal for Coventry, with Van Ewijk, Thomas, Latabodiere and De Silva. Onyeka making his debut, and Grimes, Sakamoto, Rodoni and Mason Clark behind Hadji Wright. And for Middlesbrough, the goalkeeper is Sol Bryn. The defence, Britton, Malonda on the ball now, Ayling and Targett, with Brown, Morris, Hackney and McGree in the middle, and Whittaker and Conway up front. We are underway under the lights on Talksport 2, the glare of the floodlights overhead, and after all the build-up, the game of the season in the Championship has finally begun. It's 0-0, a minute gone, and here's Adrian Clark.
Wow, it's quite the picture, isn't it? Out there in front of us, two excellent teams, complete sellout crowd, and Coventry on the front foot here.
Sakamoto in the right wing position, corner of the penalty area now, whips in an in-swinging cross, headed off the post. Hadji Wright from 8 yards out, denied by the woodwork. Coventry so close to scoring inside the first 90 seconds. Wright's layoff up the inside left is overhit, out of play for a goal kick. Listen to the roar of the Coventry fans, still 0-0.
Well, they like what they see. The Sky Blue supporters straight onto the front foot here. Coventry City, what a good cross that was from Sakamoto, the little Japanese player on the right. He swings the ball in left-footed, and Hadji Wright climbs highest. He aims the header into the turf. It skips off the turf and slams into the post. He's really unlucky.
Well, Hadji Wright so close to opening the scoring, having scored 2 goals in his last 5 appearances, both in home wins for Coventry City. He is a gangly, very tall sort of player, and leapt highest but could only find the woodwork. Coventry have started much the brighter Frank Lampard's team. 0-0. On the right again is Sakamoto, near side of the field, one-on-one with Targett, headed for the dead ball line, then whips it in left-footed again. The cross is blocked by McGree, high up into the sky, won back by Onyeka, the Brentford loanee, and chested back to his goalkeeper by Luke Ayling. Very calm, the experienced former Leeds United defender at the heart of the Middlesbrough back line. 3 promotions in his career, Luke Ayling. He's played in many a game as high octane as this over the course of his career. It appears to be Coventry who have settled the quickest. As I look down from our commentary position about 10-15 rows from the edge of the pitch, Kim Hellberg and Frank Lampard both watching on. Coventry on the defensive now, Middlesbrough on the attack. Tommy Conway down the left-hand side, near side of the field. He'll play it back here to Morris, the American. Long way out, looks for McGree, into the area, tries a cross, deflected away. Mason Clark can't control it. One back by Britton. Hackney is a long way out, urged to shoot by the Middlesbrough fans at the other end of the field. Morris with a clever dink out wide right to Britton. Coventry have almost everybody in sky blue back to defend this. Middlesbrough playing from right to left. Opportunity for the cross from the far side, the right, cleared away at the near post. It was Britton's delivery. Middlesbrough have it back. You can already see these are two very capable footballing sides.
Absolutely, yeah. The quality of the football is outstanding. Middlesbrough, it's their first spell, and they are popping the ball around quite beautifully.
Whittaker, 25 yards out, left-footed shot, rising over the top couple of yards over Carl Rushworth's crossbar, away to the left-hand side. The goalkeeper saw it swerving through the air, but in the end comfortably behind for a goal kick to Coventry. What a high-tempo first 4.5 minutes, Adrian.
Very enjoyable, and we've got lots more of it to come, thankfully. But yeah, on that occasion, Morgan Whittaker does what he does best, really. Comes in off the right, skips past a couple of challenges, and then takes on a strike left-footed. They don't want to leave him free on his left foot too often this evening, Coventry.
Well, they did everything but score against Oxford United when I was here about 10 days ago now, in that goalless draw. 24 shots on goal, but they couldn't convert any of them. In large part, though, it has been fortress CBS Arena for Coventry so far this season. No question about that. Spurred on by a capacity crowd tonight. Ball knocked forward from the right-back position by Britton. Well won authoritatively by Latabodiere, who's quite slight for a centre-half. Square ball to Bobby Thomas, back in the team tonight. Thomas out wide to the near side, the right, and Milan van Ewijk. Now Sakamoto back to van Ewijk in the right-back position, and Coventry popping the ball about nicely, 0-0.
Really interesting there. Jack Rodoni's playing as the number 10 for Coventry tonight, and Adilson Malonda, the centre-back of Borough, is looking to get touch tight to him. So he'll come into midfield, he'll follow him in, which is obviously risky, because you're leaving Luke Ayling as the only centre-back in position there. So I'll be watching that closely, how that develops over the next few minutes, because they're going to go man-to-man. That is a policy that can, bear fruit, but it can also backfire.
That's the voice of former Arsenal winger, EFL expert Adrian Clarke, with us in the Talksport 2 commentary position tonight. A host of top live commentaries from the EFL this weekend. Blackburn against Preston will be with Coventry away at West Brom. Wrexham against Ipswich, and the Steel City derby on Sunday. United against Wednesday. Ayling for Middlesbrough. Gives it away. Rodoni's into the area now, and he shoots, and it's blocked by Malonda. Got across well there, the Frenchman, to divert it away. Coventry back on the attack with Mason Clark. Nudges it towards the left. Well retrieved by Alan Brown. Back to Callum Britton, deep inside his own half the field, and Middlesbrough looked a little edgy. Jittery there in possession. They give it away to Onyeka, surging through the middle. Now Sakamoto, right on the edge of the D. Sakamoto sandwiched in between two red shirts. Target lunges in. That'll be a free kick to Coventry in the right wing position, and they've taken it quickly. Sakamoto, dead ball line, pulling it back on Onyeka. Shot blocked from the edge of the penalty area. Well, Coventry are not wasting a moment in their bid to get back to the top of the table.
Well, this is fast, this is frenetic. This is top-notch championship football, it really is. Coventry playing at times 2 speed at the moment, aren't they? This is very, very impressive. The way they're hunting down Borough and closing them in, working in packs to steal the ball is very, very impressive.
Well, the two best sides in the championship are spurring each other on at the moment. Coventry 0, Middlesbrough 0. This is Talksport 2, and another great roar goes up all around the ground. The sea of sky blue, all 4 sides of this single-tiered stadium. Forward by Latabodiere, high up the middle. It'll take one bounce and drift through to Sol Bryn, the goalkeeper born in Middlesbrough. In fact, there are plenty of local connections to Middlesbrough itself within the Borough team. Ayling from the right corner of his own penalty area hoists it downfield. They can't keep possession very effectively at the moment, Middlesbrough. Grimes, though, has played a heavy touch on halfway. That's allowed Conway, the Scot, to win it back. Conway, who scored in the victory at Sheffield United this time last week, that has sent Middlesbrough 2 points clear of Coventry at the top. And don't forget that Millwall and Ipswich are still in the race for automatic promotion. Hull City as well. It is a fascinating tussle at the very top. De Silva for Coventry. Better side so far. Out on the left is the tall Rodoni. Back to De Silva. Dead ball line. Skips away from the defender. Whips in the cross. Headed away by Target. And it'll bounce down to Conway. Smuggles it only half away. And he's been fouled by Onyeka. Onyeka is adding a great physical intensity to the Coventry midfield, as well as his technical prowess, and that physical battle is something that Frank Lampard, Clarkey, talked about a lot in the build-up to this game.
He did, yeah, and it's what Coventry fans know was missing from the team. They really like the other options that they've got in central midfield. They're all good players, but they lack that physicality, and Onyeka brings it. There's no doubt about that. We saw that with Brentford in the Premier League, and he's getting around that engine room very nicely in these early stages, but there's a lovely ebb and flow to it, isn't it?
This is what the top of the Championship is all about. Riley McGree, edge of the D, forward to Conway. Conway onto the right foot. That's his stronger side. McGree almost threading it through the inside left towards target, but he way overhit the pass. Far too much weight on it, and it flashed out of play for a goal kick to Coventry City. They've won their last 6 league matches, Middlesbrough. They haven't won 7 in a row in the league since the late 1980s.
Wow. Yeah, that tells you how good a run this is. Yeah. Just looking at Middlesbrough, it's obviously quite a lopsided system. You've got Riley McGree, who's nominally playing on the left, but really he floats infield to join in as a left-sided number 10. Alan Brown is out on the right wing, but he's not a winger. He'll also tuck in. So it's a very narrow central midfield for Borough.
Conway, the number 9, away down the left-hand side. He's got Whittaker in the middle. Conway surges into the box. Low ball in, turned away at the near post by Thomas. Well retrieved by Van Ewijk. And Onyeka, with his customary authority, takes a good first touch on his debut. Is caught by Aidan Morris, and that's a free kick to Coventry on the edge of the penalty area. 0-0 on Talksport 2, second against first in the Championship, remember. And we've had 11 absolutely breathless minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm worn out watching it. It must be
lie down.
It must be quite hard work to be down there. I think they'll take this little break in play here, both sets of players, and just get their breath back, because it's been so fast. I mean, the pressing is what stands out. Coventry's has been phenomenal. They've won the ball back in some great areas, but Middlesbrough as well are so tigerish when they don't have the ball. The work rate on show from both sets of players is really good to watch.
Frank Lampard on the near side, hands in his pockets. Kim Hellberg, the Swedish manager of Middlesbrough, just to his left, with the dark jacket on. Forward by Britton, the former Blackburn player, looking for Alan Brown. 10 yards shy of the halfway line for Middlesbrough, who get it through some neat interplay once again. Work wide, a bobbling ball from Morris out to target in the left-back position. Now Conway stands astride the halfway line with his socks rolled halfway down his shins. You're nice and close to the action here at the CBS Arena. It holds 30,000, but there's an intimacy about the venue. It really keeps the noise penned into the stadium.
It does, yeah. It's a cracking place to watch football. Never played here, unfortunately, but I can imagine it's a joy to play in front of this crowd. Yeah, they're right on top of you. And we've got a lovely vantage point here, very close to the pitch. You can see the players' faces. It's a perfect night for a good football match.
And it's great that Coventry are back in Coventry for good, of course. It's easy to forget that they ground shared at Northampton and Birmingham City as well in the dark, not too distant past. Conway on the halfway line finding Morris. Conway was caught by Sakamoto, Onyeka rather, and that'll be a free kick to Middlesbrough just inside the Coventry half, 0-0.
I tell you what, Tommy Conway has started this game well, hasn't he? Up front, he's been available. He's made a couple of good runs down this left-hand channel, where that's striding run that he made. He exploded away from Milan Van Ewijk. He's got a bit of pace about him. Tommy Conway, he looks fitter, he looks sharper, certainly more confident under Kim Hellberg.
4 goals in 4 for Conway, and he's starting to find that scoring form, isn't he?
Yeah, that would do plenty for your confidence.
Long ball by Ayling, right to left, down towards the dead ball line. It bounces onto the foot of McGree, Middlesbrough's number 8, in a very tight area. Tries to shuffle beyond Van Ewijk, but he actually took the ball out of play. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary. And looking around the CBS Arena, can barely see an empty sky blue seat. This was the one that they all wanted to get into, and of course, if you couldn't get a ticket, the best place to be is Talksport 2. Rushworth hammers the ball high through the dark evening sky. Jumping to head it clear is Malonda. And now the loose ball retrieved on the left of midfield by McGree. Target with a slightly unconvincing clearance from the left-back position. Rolls it back to Ayling, who's under some pressure here from Hadji Wright, closing him down. And the deflection takes it behind for a Middlesbrough goal kick, but it's a really energetic, dynamic performance from, I would say, Coventry in particular, over the first quarter of an hour, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're working overtime. I've made 4 interceptions already, Coventry. They're stealing the ball in some terrific areas. Haven't had a lot of the ball, in truth. It's 2/3 of possession has been Middlesbrough's so far. But it's Coventry that have posed the greater menace, haven't they, inside the final third?
Well, nothing will be won or lost tonight, of course, ultimately in the championship season, whether you are talking about the title or the promotion race, but certainly momentum can be gained or lost further if you're Coventry City. No win in 3 for Coventry, 6 straight league wins, remember, for Middlesbrough, all in red. It's the Sky Blues against the team in red tonight. Middlesbrough out on the right with the leggy Whittaker. Whittaker's ball in field towards McGree is not returned with interest. It's won back industriously by Mason Clark. And now midway inside his own half, Latibaudiere has possession for Coventry City. Back to Rushworth, all in a sort of dark purple goalkeeping kit. And floated forward by Thomas up towards Rodoni, beaten in the air by Ayling, who's been excellent at centre-half for Middlesbrough in recent matches. Now then, Alan Brown, midway inside Coventry territory, ball up the inside left, too much on it for Conway.
Yeah, but he didn't need to play that kind of incisive pass there to Conway. Could maybe played a simpler pass where Conway just receives it and then builds from there. He tries to put him in. It was interesting. I talked earlier about Malonda getting touch tight with Rodoni. A moment ago, it was Ayling.
Good flick by Wright into the path of Mason Clark, darting into the penalty area now, twisting, turning and trying the shot, and it's charged down by Malonda, who's stuck with him very impressively at the expense of a Coventry corner. And Kim Helberg on the near side is really not happy about that decision. He feels it should have been a goal kick. I think he thinks there was a double deflection, Clark.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, he was absolutely furious, wasn't he, with the 4th official. He's not too far away from us, Helberg. But that was a good run, wasn't it, from Mason Clark? Slalomed his way forward. But Malonda, he's very, very calm, doesn't dive in, and he just makes himself a big barrier. And it's a terrific block.
Sakamoto is going to take the corner here for Coventry City. It'll be right-footed and in-swinging. In fact, he's taken it short to Rodoni. Rodoni drives it in left-footed, headed away at the near post by Malonda again. Bounces down on the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area. Sakamoto flings himself to ground. He wasn't fouled. Middlesbrough scramble it clear up to the halfway line, where De Silva does well in front of Whittaker. Shepherds the ball out of play for a throw, and that allows Coventry to keep possession. Has the feel of a game in seasons past that we've seen in the Championship, a Leeds against Sunderland or a Leicester against an Ipswich. It's the 2 best teams, isn't it? The 2 best footballing sides.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. There's some lovely football on show. But we want goals, don't we? And so far we haven't got one. But this has not been for a lack of trying. Very, very positive start from both teams.
18 minutes gone goalless here. Goalless 2 at Macclesfield against Brentford in the 4th round of the FA Cup on Talksport tonight. That's half-time. Rodoni's cross floated towards Sakamoto. Tries a looping header at the back post. He wasn't tall enough really to get underneath that. I think that Coventry would have been hoping that Hadji Wright may have been a little closer. 6'4" that he is, and Sakamoto is nowhere near that.
No, exactly. They needed to swap positions there, Hadji Wright and Sakamoto. It was just too much for the diminutive winger to control his head up. We've just got a sort of natural pause now. One of the players down injured, Conway, and I think it give both managers an opportunity to have a chat. Frank Lampard looks very relaxed, doesn't he? Hands in his pockets, chilled out.
Whether he's feeling relaxed or not is another question altogether.
Yeah, but that's different, isn't it? I think as a manager, you
have to project a calm.
Exactly that, and I'm sure that he projects the right things because he's got this Coventry team. Even though they've been on a poor run, he's got them very much on board. They believe in his messages.
Well, we have a lot of live football to come for you later this week. Tomorrow night, Benfica against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Qarabag against Newcastle on Talksport 2 on Wednesday. Wolves against Arsenal in the Premier League on Talksport. And on Thursday, Fenerbahce against Nottingham Forest and Celtic against Stuttgart. Both live back-to-back on Talksport 2. As always, the best way to be across all of our live football is to just download the Talksport app, and that way you won't miss anything. Now, Conway is back on his feet, looked very bright in the early stages for Middlesbrough, Tommy Conway, and it may be goalless, but it's been a really gripping exhibition of football in the first 20 minutes or so. I say exhibition, it's anything but an exhibition game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an exhibition of quality, that's what it is.
It is, yeah, it's really good. I'm just thinking about Coventry, though. They'd like Matt Grimes on the ball a bit more. I think he's only made 8 passes so far. Rodoni the same. These are the guys that can make Coventry tick. But at the moment, they're sort of on the edge of the game because Borough are having most of the ball.
Everything goes through Grimes, doesn't it, for Coventry? Give the ball to Grimes is often the key. It's chipped wide by right to Sakamoto, who shimmies infield away from 2 in red. Now Rodoni with a tight angle, and Wright has turned it in! Coventry lead in the battle of the top 2! On his knees in celebration. The championship pendulum swings Coventry's way, and they deserve the lead. Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0, and the CBS Arena is shaking to the sound of celebration. Hadji Wright with the goal.
Right place, right time, at the right moment. Hadji Wright delivers. It comes to him so quickly. But it's about Sakamoto and Rodoni. The lovely little dribble from the right winger Sakamoto. He feeds it into Rodoni. He drives into the box. And he fizzes the ball across the face of goal. And Hadji Wright deflects it in. What a big moment that is in the championship promotion race. It goes through the keeper's legs. All happens in the blink of an eye. It's a smart finish, actually. It doesn't just hit him, he steers that in with very little reaction time. Excellent from Hadji Wright.
So, 1-0 to Coventry on Talksport 2, Middlesbrough. How will they respond? Coventry are top of the table as it stands, and Morris has hacked down on Yeka in the right wing position. Is he going to get a yellow card? Yes, he is. And Middlesbrough have to be careful here, Adrian Clark, that this game does not drift away from them quickly.
Well, they've got to stay in it, haven't they? First and foremost, not panic. Kim Hellberger, young manager, very enthusiastic. He seems quite wound up as well on the touchline in front of us. These players maybe a touch rattled as well, but they're not used to this. Not used to a team being able to mix it with them. Certainly not in recent weeks. And Coventry do more than that, aren't they, here tonight? They deserve their lead.
Well, this has been, surely, even by Coventry's standards, one of the best first 23 minutes they produced all season. In the game that has mattered more than any so far, Coventry lead 1-0. Grimes with the right wing free kick, and well taken by Sol Bryn, high above his head, inside the penalty area. It went through his legs, but no blame could be attached to the goalkeeper for that.
No, Rodoni drives in the box. We were just talking about him, weren't we, and how important he is. He powers through, and he just drills it across the face of goal. But it comes at him so quickly, but he instinctively sticks out, I think it's his right foot, and he just toes it past the goalkeeper. It's past the keeper before he's had time to react. Really smart piece of centre-forward play from the American.
Coventry are top of the league. Middlesbrough down to second. In the championship it ever changes. Live on Talksport 2. Whittaker, right wing area for Middlesbrough. Low ball in, steered away by Latabodiere at the near post. Did very well on the stretch, otherwise it would have been a tap in for Tommy Conway.
Yeah, he was there. He was in the right place. He was ready to gobble that one up. Tommy Conway, terrific from Latabodiere.
Hackney down the inside right, Conway in the middle, sliding into the near post was Brown, smuggled away by Matt Grimes. He almost took it off the toes of Riley McGree there, Alan Brown, and Whittaker's committed a foul on the far side on Mason Clark. He sportingly helps him to his feet. I tell you what, Adrian Clark, we wanted this game to deliver, and so far it certainly has.
Yeah, it was never in doubt. Never in doubt that the Middlesbrough would bring it. They'd bring their energy, that controlled chaos that we were talking about ahead of kick-off, and they're trying to play that way. But what we're seeing here from Coventry tonight is a seriously aggressive approach. They are in the faces of these red-shirted players, and they're winning the ball back in good areas, and they're getting straight at them. They're not messing around here, Coventry. How many times have we seen Coventry play 10, 20 passes? I don't think we have at all. They're at Borough as soon as they win it back.
Yes, it's direct in a sort of aesthetically pleasing kind of way because it's so high tempo. Redoni's beaten Ayling to the ball midway inside the Middlesbrough half, bundled over by Whittaker. Surely no free kick given by the referee. Frank Lampard, arms outstretched, can't believe it. Then Whittaker is fouled. Redoni on the retreat. Redoni's got to be careful that he doesn't talk himself into a booking here. Thomas Bramall is the match referee. Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, that Jack Redoni selection feels like it's paid off already, doesn't it? Might not have had that much of the ball, but when he has had the ball at his feet, he's carried a serious threat, I think, Redoni, and he's played a big part in that opening goal. So yeah, turning to those sort of players that took Cov to the top of the league seems to be working quite well for Lampard.
Given away by Alan Brown on the halfway line, industriously retrieved by Grimes. Such a metronome-like player in the middle of midfield. Good flick by Van Ewijk down the Coventry right. Sakamoto through the middle, a brilliant ball. Mason Clark stretching, just unable to reach it.
What a good idea that was, and almost the perfect execution. We had the perfect view of it, didn't we? The space opened up between the Borough defenders, and Sakamoto saw it. He just put a little bit too much oomph on the pass, and it was just out of the reach of Mason Clark. But he was in, wasn't he?
Onyeka's going to get booked here for a sliding challenge on Morris, which was not particularly well timed.
No, you can have no complaints. Onyeka, is it Frank the Tank they call him, don't they? I think he lives up to that nickname. He is a machine in the middle of the engine room, but he will throw his weight around, and that's actually bad news for him and for Coventry, because he has to be more restrained now.
And he went right through the back of Morris, who is also on a yellow card. And the Middlesbrough fans, 2,000 of them away to our right, have been silenced by this thrilling opening 27 minutes from Coventry City. And the Sky Blues, as it stands, are back on top. There's a problem here again for Morris in the middle of midfield. Referee has stopped the game, and it's a Middlesbrough free kick. Word from Redoni for Morris. This free kick just shy of the halfway line. Little ripple of applause from the Coventry fans in front of us in the sky blue and white bobble hats and scarves as the Coventry subs warm up on the near side touchline. Middlesbrough take the free kick, and Morris is back on his feet.
I've never seen a group of subs more engaged in a game. I've been watching them, and they are fully into this. They're kicking every ball as they warm up.
Wright and Ayling nearly going head to head after a free kick went Middlesbrough's way, and Redoni and Wright would do well just to take the temperature out of it somewhat, because just for a moment there it looked as though Wright had lost his cool in front of Luke Ayling. Play continues. Wright bundles over Morris on the halfway line, and Thomas Bramall is in charge tonight. Not an easy game, a top of the table clash to take charge of. And of course it's up to the referee to keep control. Sliding it is Morris to poke it wide to target. Coventry sky blue shirts are everywhere at the moment. They're so quick on the press. Back it goes to Rushworth, who hammers it high downfield. Up to the midway point of the Middlesbrough half. Ayling let it bounce. Malonda only half away. Redoni thought about heading it on the half volley. Out comes Bryn, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, all in black to collect.
Yeah, I think we're getting a glimpse tonight, or sort of a reminder of how athletic, high-level football is. It's so fast. You've got to be so fit. You've got to be so quick across the turf, and you've got to think really quickly as well. There is no time at all to dwell on the ball.
That's exactly what Morris has done. Mason Clark is in, away on the left-hand side. Right is square. Mason Clark has drilled it just beyond the far post. Went alone, and surely from that sort of range he has to hit the target. His hands up to his head. Ephron Mason-Clark back in the team tonight, and really he should have put Coventry 2-0 up.
Yeah, it's a poor finish from Ephron Mason-Clark. Another turnover. It's right, it's Radoni. They're smuggling the ball back inside Borough territory. Release at Mason-Clark. He strides forward on the left channel, and but the shot, the curler aimed towards the far post, is wayward, off target.
Well, Kim Hellberg has absolutely rightly had so many plaudits for the way that Middlesbrough have performed since he took charge, but this is the biggest test of his managerial career in England so far.
Yeah, and if you're going to ask your players to play the way that he does, which is brave, he's asking his players to be seriously courageous, play in tight areas, inside your own half, bang, 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 and then once they play through the press, they're destroying teams. The thing is, tonight, so far, half an hour in, they haven't been able to play through the Coventry press as well as they've done of late. But I think he's got the courage of his convictions here, Kim Hellberg, to tell his players to carry on playing this way, because sooner or later it will bear fruit.
Half an hour gone. Coventry is on. Onyeka drops in to retrieve the ball on the halfway line. Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0. That solitary Hadji Wright goal. Enough at the moment to send Coventry back to the top of the championship table. We have some brilliant EFL football to come for you over the weekend as well. Blackburn against Preston, Wrexham against Ipswich, Coventry at West Brom, and the Steel City derby in Sheffield on Sunday as Conway gives away a free kick. And there is little doubt, I don't think anybody could disagree with the assessment, that of the top two, Coventry, though there is a long way to go, have been the better team up until this point.
Yeah, no, this isn't game over. No one here will be getting ahead of themselves, because, you know, I would initially ask the question, can Coventry maintain this pace? Can they keep up this high intensity, aggressive, hostile, off the ball work that's helping them win the ball in such good areas?
Grimes is going to float a free kick in from the right wing, high left footed to the back post, nodded on by Mason-Clark, header away by Malonda. That was a very impressive giant leap amid a flurry of bodies in sky blue around the central defender Malonda. A lot of Middlesbrough fans saying that he already looks Premier League ready.
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't argue against it. I've seen him a few times now, and I've barely seen any mistakes.
I think there's a loose boot on the field as the ball bounces out of play for a free kick to Middlesbrough. Is that a boot that I think has gone flying off somebody's foot? Yes, it is. Aidan Morris has picked it up.
Is it Luke Ayling's
boot? It could
boot?
be Ayling.
I mean, he's sprinted about 30 yards there with just the one boot on.
There's defending and then there's defending.
Well, look, he's very experienced. I'm sure he's experienced it before. There's not much he hasn't done before in his career, I'd imagine, Luke Ayling. Yeah, I saw him on holiday once, Luke Ayling.
Oh, yeah?
He was,
whereabouts?
Where did we go? It was in Mallorca. Yeah, it was lovely. But yeah, he's got a huge tattoo of his wife on his back. It's quite incredible. It's a sight to behold.
Up he gets to his feet. And he's got his boot back on as well.
He has, yeah. And look, he's playing some of the best football that he's played in years.
Yeah.
Luke Ayling under Kim Hellberg.
1-0 to Coventry. Middlesbrough free kick underway in the second half at Macclesfield in the FA Cup. Macclesfield 0, Brentford 0 in the fourth round. Live on Talksport tonight. That was a 7:30 kick-off. The winners will play away at West Ham in round 5. Some great fifth round ties. Wrexham against Chelsea and Mansfield against Arsenal among them. As Sakamoto is hauled to the ground, so too Onyeka, and there's a disagreement between 2 or 3 players from both sides. Targett has got his arm around the neck of Hadji Wright for a moment, not in an aggressive fashion, but in a calm down sort of way. And the referee's going to have a word here with Alan Brown.
Yeah, and he just needs to settle things down. I mean, it's a feisty game. I don't think the referee needs to stop the physical contact. I think physical contact is a big part of what's making this such a good spectacle. It's just getting that balance right.
Clear skies overhead in Coventry on what is a chilly night. 11 minutes of the first half to go. Fizzed forward by Grimes from the free kick. The ball is swinging, arcing from left to right. Brought down by Sakamoto, the number 7. Sakamoto, a couple of step overs. Thomas is on the overlap here, the centre half. Sakamoto was caught. Thomas let the ball drift out of play, and eventually the assistant put up the checkered flag. And it's a free kick to Coventry in a very dangerous area of the right wing position.
It's really interesting, wasn't it, that Bobby Thomas overlapped. And the pass, he could have got on the end of the pass from Sakamoto, but he wanted the free kick, so he let it run out of play, forced the referee to blow his whistle for the free kick. And they have this, well, this is in a good position, isn't it? Matt Grimes, he's going to whip this in, left-footed, across the face of goal. Haji Wright is an obvious target, the big man. He's already hit the post, of course, and scored.
Grimes, left-footed, into the near post, cleared away, tucked behind by Conway. That'll be a Coventry corner. Yes, he very much decided there, didn't he, Bobby Thomas, that there was definitely no advantage.
No, exactly. It was a poor free kick, unfortunately, from Grimes. He's gone for pace, but he's lost trajectory. It was too low. But we've got another go at this from a corner.
Now it's Jack Rodoni to deliver in front of the south stand, which is split. Home and away supporters, 2/3 Coventry, 1/3 Middlesbrough maybe. Behind the goal to our right-hand side, and so many forward in sky blue, everybody back in red. Coventry from left to right in the first half, leading 1-0. Drifted in by Rodoni to the back post, up go the heads, and it's going to take one bounce and go behind.
Yeah, just too much on it from Jack Rodoni. But yeah, he's got to keep maintaining this, Coventry City. I'm just looking at the Borough. It's like split strikers, aren't they? Conway's like your left side striker. Morgan Whittaker is your right side striker. They've actually got no one down the middle, which is highly unusual. And I guess that's the area that Hayden Hackney and Morris look to surge into.
Yes, there's a big gap, isn't there? A big broad gap for the red shirts in the area where the Coventry centre halves are.
Yeah. And when they press as a 5, like the 5 dots on a dice. That's the shape that they press in. It's very, very well coached and well drilled. But Coventry are handling it fine.
Can they keep up this level of intensity, I suppose, is the question for Frank Lampard's team. Although, that said, they've shown for most of the season that they can, and they are top of the Championship, above Middlesbrough. As it stands, Coventry would be clear by a point, and maybe even more significantly, they'd move further clear of Millwall in 3rd. Heavy touch by Rushworth, and he just evades the on-rushing Whittaker.
That was close. That was a close run thing. And it wasn't even the heaviest of touches, but Whittaker was on him in a flash.
Thunderous clearance downfield by Rushworth. I thought for a second Haji Wright might get on the end of that, and the defender Malonda let it bounce, but it's easily gathered by Sol Bryn. Actually, neither goalkeeper has had a lot to do, as in thralling as a game as it has been, and really the one shot on target has been the goal.
That's it, yeah. If you look at the shot count, it's 5-2 in Coventry's favour, but the only shot on target has been the goal. Obviously, we saw the woodwork struck via Haji Wright very early on in the game as well. But yeah, it's not a game of a high volume chances, but it's making up for it. It's a really absorbing contest.
Rodoni racing into the area from the inside right. There were 5 in red surrounding him. Middlesbrough scramble it away. Rodoni went to ground. Hopefully the Coventry fans from behind the goal called for a penalty, but it was never likely to be forthcoming. Middlesbrough throw in the left back position on the near side, and Target with that long sleeve shirt on will come forward to take it. 7 minutes plus added time to go in the first half tonight on Talksport 2. And Middlesbrough are 1-0 down. Their winning run in the Championship is under threat, but I'm sure they won't panic, because a 1-0 lead, well, there's so much jeopardy still in the game. As Ayling carries the ball forward. One touch pass out to the right by McGree. Early ball down the middle towards Whittaker, and just a little too much on it from Britton. Out came the goalkeeper to gather.
Well, that's the kind of football that has been destroying the rest of the Championship. That was smooth, wasn't it? Ayling, and then it goes wide on a one-touch pass from Riley McGree, and Whittaker's in out of nowhere. And look, if Rushworth wasn't on his toes and ready for that. He's in there and he scores.
Now Malonda for Middlesbrough. Everybody inside the Coventry half. Borough goalkeeper Bryn. Target to whip in. A great cross. Headed down by Whittaker. And it's gone behind for a corner. Off to Silva.
Crosses do not get any better than that. We were right behind it. It was perfection from Matt Target. All the way to Whittaker at the far stick. He's free. He gets a good contact on it. But, unfortunately for Whittaker and Middlesbrough, the left back to Silva blocks it.
Corner taken short. Now McGree, right corner of the area, back towards Hackney, who's made a run down the right edge of the box. He's held it up against Sakamoto. Hackney plays it back to McGree, only half away. Who gets the final touch? Ayling lashed it goalwards and it was blocked. Scramble inside the Coventry penalty area. Middlesbrough regained possession on the halfway line. Still 1-0 to Coventry.
Well, that was resolute, wasn't it, from Coventry? But yeah, I'm not quite sure how they didn't manage to shot on target there, Borough. Just so many sky blue shirts in the way, I guess.
Conway, the number 9, little dink into the path of McGree, back to goal, back out wide. Conway, low ball into the near post. Trying to run onto it was Brown, poked away by Thomas, who was caught actually. And Thomas goes down on his knees, and the referee is going to stop the game. But certainly in the last couple of minutes, as we head towards half-time here, we've seen what Middlesbrough are capable of as a footballing side, and that is plenty, Adrian.
Yeah, they've got a lot in their locker, and they move the ball so smoothly, and they've got into some great areas.
And they all interchange so effectively as well. It's certainly not a flat 4-4-2. There's all sorts going on.
Yeah, it's a sophisticated way of playing, and I would imagine quite mentally challenging for a lot of the players. There's a lot to think about, but they seem like a really slick, well-oiled unit. Even though tonight hasn't gone their way, we've had glimpses, haven't we, of what they're all about, and it's so good to watch.
Header on the halfway line by Target, forward for Middlesbrough. Cushion square by Thomas to Van Eyck, who thunders it forward on the half volley. It drops to Ayling. Only a momentary lack of pressure on Ayling, and it's won back by Mason Clark. Mason Clark dribbling down the middle. Good covering by Morris. I thought Britain was in trouble there. Good covering by Morris in the end. De Silva has bundled over Whittaker, and that's a free kick to Middlesbrough in the right back position. But it did look to me like the fullback was vulnerable to Mason Clark running at it.
Yes, certainly. I think Britain's better going forward than at the back. And Mason Clark is a powerful, quick player. Not an easy customer to deal with. See what Aidan Morris has struggled for me in this first half. He's had a brilliant season, but struggled tonight.
Rushworth long down the middle. What a take by Mason Clark! And he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Great take on the edge of the penalty area, cushioning the ball onto his right foot. But he fired a rather tepid shot goalwards, and it was an easy save.
Yeah, the skill to bring it out of the sky was outstanding. And he's got a good kick on him, hasn't he? Carl Rushworth, for me, one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best, in the second tier. And he can launch it. And it was a really clever kick, because Mason Clark's a left winger, but he pops up in the centre forward spot on the edge of the D, brings it down and gets his shot and goal.
2.5 minutes of the first half to go. Coventry City 1, Middlesbrough 0, so they've swapped places at the top. Coventry back to the summit as it stands. Target down the left for Middlesbrough. No pressure on him as he goes square to Conway. Conway left corner of the penalty area. Back to Morris in a more central position. Morris shuffles it wide right. Britton is on the ball. Low ball in by Britton. Comes back to him on his right foot. And the ironic cheers will tell you he's sliced it way over the top.
Just needed a dose more composure there, Callum Britton. But look, we can forgive him that. He's had a great season. The Borough right back, but he's just lashed at it, hasn't he? Hoping to score a worldie. It didn't happen for him there. And a few Coventry fans around us daring to leave their seats. This is one of those games where you really don't want to miss a minute.
No. They are heading for the concourse areas now, aren't they, at the CBS Arena? Confident maybe that the job is done for one half at least. This is EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary. Coventry on the attack, it's headed away. And now Middlesbrough with McGree. Tussle with Onyeka, who wins the battle again on the halfway line. Elegantly done by Coventry. Thomas to Grimes to Latibodiere in a triangular set of passes. Now De Silva in the left-back area, rolls it back to Latibodiere with the orange boots on. Rushworth again to flight a long high ball downfield. Redoni will try and jump, but he's beaten to it by Britton. Last minute of normal time at the end of the first half, and concentration key for both teams, but at only 1-0. There is so much football left to be played.
Oh yes, yeah, we've got a lot more twists and turns to come in this match. Trust me, Middlesbrough will throw everything at it in the second half. And the big question mark is, can Coventry maintain this level of athleticism that's put them, or helped to put them in this really strong position?
Well, they are awaiting the announcement for added time. Fourth official is just to our right. We're just to the left of the halfway line, halfway inside the half to the left. And we're looking towards the fourth official now. Ballooned long by Rushworth for Coventry onto the edge of the penalty area. Header away by Target. 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Here on Talksport 2. Poor ball out of defence by Ayling. Sakamoto's touch though is heavy, and Hackney gathers the ball forward. Skips away from the challenge of Thomas. Looks up the middle for Whittaker. Whittaker beaten to it by De Silva at the expense of a foul. Free kick to Middlesbrough, middle of the Coventry half.
Yeah, it is a foul. No doubt about it. A little bit sloppy, wasn't it, from Coventry City, and Hayden Hackney, when he's got the ball at his feet, he can run at serious speed. He's very elegant. He's got beautiful balance. He dropped a shoulder there on Thomas, didn't he? And completely sold the Coventry centre back. And the only problem Middlesbrough got here is this: it feels too far for a shot, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
it's dead central. So they might have to change the angle here. Whittaker's a great striker of a ball, but is he really going to score from here? I don't think so.
35, 36 yards out maybe. 2 over it. Whittaker chips the ball towards the left and headed across goal by Brown. Nodded clear by Thomas. Firmly and forcefully away from danger for Coventry City, who lead 1-0 into the last 45 seconds of first half added time on your home of the EFL. A throw by Morris. Coventry fans thought it was a foul throw. Nonetheless, it's hooked up field and away by Onyeka. Malonda let it bounce under the challenge of Wright, who looks in tip-top form tonight. Haji Wright. He's scored the only goal so far. Morris wins it back for Middlesbrough. Angles the ball to the right-back area, and Britton. Redoni is down. That looks like a head injury, so the referee has had to stop it. Middlesbrough fans not happy, but he's got no option here, Thomas Bramall.
Yeah, no, you have to do it, and they're going to get the physios on here. I mean, we're just about done, aren't we, in terms of the action from this thrilling first half. I think it could get even better second half because Middlesbrough will not settle. There's no chance they're settled, not even for a point here. They're going to bring everything they've got in this second period. But look, I don't think there's any question that Coventry do warrant the lead. They've just had a bit more punch, haven't they, in and around the box.
And maybe more, as you say, still to come, because there actually haven't been a great deal, if any, clear-cut chances other than the goal.
No, it's amazing, really. I mean, 6 shots apiece, none on target for Middlesbrough so far. Yeah, I mean, there's been 2 big chances in the game. And Haji Wright hit the post with one and scored the other. The other one, you'd probably say that Mason Clark should do better when he curls it wide. As for Middlesbrough, it's that free header, isn't it, at the far post from Morgan Whittaker that was blocked by the left back, De Silva.
Out on the left for Middlesbrough is Conway. Redoni off the field at the moment for Coventry City as Middlesbrough come forward on the attack with Hackney. Conway nudges it backwards now to the feet of Malonda. 1-0 to Coventry. We've had the 2 added minutes and then some into added time on added time here. Middlesbrough from right to left. Ayling is 30 yards from goal. Angle ball to the right. Whittaker with an in-swinging cross shot. Way over hit, and that is half-time. And the top 2 swapping places as it stands in the Championship. Coventry moving above Middlesbrough, a point clear at the top. It's had all the ingredients that you would want from a top-of-the-table clash. And for Coventry, the added benefit of that Haji Wright goal. Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Joe Shannon, thank you. So advantage Coventry at the break at the moment. They are heading back to the top of the table. Adrian Clark, what an absorbing half of football that was. It felt as if it was being played in fast forward at times, especially when Luke Ayling sprinted 30 yards and forgot his boot, which was left on the pitch. But Coventry went ahead, and Joe said it in commentary, with the fast start they had, they deserved that goal from Haji Wright 21 minutes in.
They did deserve it, yeah. They set about... The game plan for Coventry was to get in the faces of the Middlesbrough players, stop them, play... Lampard would have said to them, they will try to play out no matter what. And it's up to us tonight to make sure that we win the ball back in good areas. And inside that first half an hour, they did it so well, didn't they, Coventry? They were on them, working in 2s and 3s in pack. That's just not going to happen. So they have to find a way to play around this excellent pressing game from Coventry City. But yeah, look, they haven't passed the ball around much. You know, they haven't had a lot of the ball. I mean, they've made more than 100 fewer passes than Middlesbrough Coventry. Yet you feel they only need 2 or 3 passes to make a chance, whereas Borough is a little bit more of a patient build-up.
But you're right, it's been that high press from Coventry that's brought them so much joy, and we saw that chance from Mason Clark, which came about because of that. It was a pretty tight angle, he flashed it wide, but you could kind of tell by his reaction, hands on his head, that he knew that was a big opportunity.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, you're looking to just curl it, you look to pass it into that far corner, and I just don't think he got the curl on it. I don't think he closed his ankle early enough, he opened up his foot, and he was always going to go wide. Yeah, he would have been disappointed with that, but they don't need to feel bad about anything in that first half. They have worked their socks off, Coventry, and they've got a lot of really good players on the ball. Matt Grimes is great on the ball, Radoni, brilliant, Sakamoto, but the truth is, all of their best work has been done off the ball here tonight. It's about their work rate and their industry, because that's laying the platform for what at the moment looks like it could be a fantastic, important win.
And actually, we've got a full house here at the CBS Arena. And the Coventry players have fed off that noise, haven't they? They've fed off the energy from the fans.
Yeah, I think you do, don't you? In these big games, there's a buzz about it. And the speed of the game. I mean, I think it all took our breath away, didn't it? And, you know, we all sat here, we're like, whoa, this is really... I mean, Joe used the term breathless. It really was. And I think there's bound to be a little bit of a dip at some point in the game, and it's at that moment maybe where Middlesbrough can find a way back into it.
Yeah, we've sent Joe Shannon for a quick nap actually at half-time to maybe get over just how energetic that first half was. Just on Borough though, Clark, we mentioned before the game, they do like to get on the ball, they do like to keep possession, but like you said in commentary, we've only really seen glimpses from them so far, most notably that header for Whittaker, but other than that, they haven't, it feels to me, found their rhythm so far.
No, they haven't, but they haven't been allowed to find their rhythm because of Coventry's organisation and industry. When they move it one touch, they are a pleasure to watch, aren't they? It's like the ball's on a piece of string. And that's how they played against Sheffield United. We've had 2 or 3 examples in that first half where they just play through Cov and you're like, whoa, that is outstanding. But they, in and around the box, they haven't really had any space. They haven't made the right decisions at the right times. I think Conway's runs down this left channel have been really dangerous. Not so much from Morgan Whittaker on the other side. And Hackney, probably, even though we've seen a couple of moments where you thought, oh, that's class, he hasn't dominated the game in the way that he's capable of.
Clarky, I'll let you catch your breath. Brilliant stuff so far. So, Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0 at half-time in this tussle between the top 2 in the Championship. The second half comes next here on Talksport 2.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Ugh, drizzly drive to the office. Ever wanted to just shove some bits in a bag, hop on a plane, and land somewhere magnifique? Well, with Kayak Explore, it's easier than ever. Whatever your budget, wherever you want to go, simply set the amount you want to spend, and Kayak finds flights that fit. easy breezy. Search kayak and go see for yourself.
Hello, Mike's Mechanics. How can we help?
Can you tell me what's wrong with my car? It's making a noise.
Right. And is that when you brake or accelerate?
So when I brake, it's more of a... and when I accelerate, it's more of a... If you get me?
Right.
Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the current account switch service.
Idle money chills in your current account, parked in front of the telly, wanting a snack, yet too lazy to move. But thanks to Monzo, busy money got up early, automatically split your paycheck into pots, rounded up your purchases into savings, invested your interest into ISAs. Oh, and has already written itself a to-do list for tomorrow. Monzo, the bank that gets your money moving. UK residents aged 18 plus, Monzo personal account required, capital at risk, T's and C's and fees may apply.
The Six Nations, the big one. The rivalries, the revelry, and everything in between. I'm Charlie Morgan, and I'm joining the Times as senior rugby writer. Tackling tactics and going deeper into the finer details and drama of the most storied tournament in world rugby. Read my articles every Monday on thetimes.com and join me on the Ruck podcast throughout the Championship and beyond.
Get that Euro Millions feeling with this Friday's £109 million super jackpot. So super, you've got to dance. So let's dance like never before. On a beach, on your own private island. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on air. Estimated jackpot. Subject to currency fluctuation. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Jack is in construction. Totally unaware.
Unaware of what?
He could be paying too much tax. Jack's forever shelling out his own cash to travel between sites or buying tools.
Yeah?
So he may be owed money by HMRC. Rift Tax Refunds helps people get the money back. On average, over £3,000 back. Get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds. Search Rift Tax Refunds today.
Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move.
This is Talksport 2. It's a Wednesday night. Double bill on the Talksport network.
Can you believe it?
Carabao versus Newcastle from 5:45 on Talksport 2.
Followed at 8 by Wolves versus Arsenal.
On Talksport.
It's gone in!
It's a wild Wednesday night of live football on Talksport and Talksport 2.
The stars come out to talk on Talksport and Talksport 2.
England, Manchester United superstar Wayne Rooney joins us. What do teammates call you? What does Benty call you?
Benty's a friend. So.
How about Mr. Rooney?
The biggest names in the football galaxy.
Alessia Russo joins us live in the studio.
We all can't just walk down to Zara and Tesco's like we could before.
That's not your red Ferrari out there, is it?
Triple A rated opinion.
He's Jack Grealish. Good morning, Jack.
Morning, guys.
I think Pep Shop's a top shop with some of the gear he wears.
No, I don't know if he could pull that up, to be honest. Just me and you, Al.
Massive games, massive names on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Feel the power and the glory. It's goal time.
And he scored. It's a brilliant goal.
Fired up and raring to go.
EFL Live
on Talksport 2.
It is second against first. Coventry against Middlesbrough. The game of the Championship season so far. Sakamoto in the right wing position, corner of the penalty area now. Whips in an in-swinging cross, headed off the post. Haji Wright from 8 yards out, denied by the woodwork.
He aims the header into the turf. It skips off the turf and slams into the post. He's really unlucky.
Sakamoto, who shimmies infield away from two in red. Now Radoni with a tight angle, and Wright has turned it in! Coventry lead in the battle of the top two! The Championship pendulum swings Coventry's way!
Right place, right time, at the right moment. Haji Wright delivers.
Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0, and the CBS Arena is shaking.
Good evening, you're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11am, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. price may vary. Welcome back to the CBS Arena. I'm Ollie Klink. What a brilliant game we've had here so far between first and second in the Championship. It's Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0. Haji Wright with the only goal so far. It's been energetic, frenetic and hectic so far. The Sky Blues, at the moment though, heading back top of the table. Over on Talksport, there is FA Cup fourth round action going on right now. They're into the last 17 minutes, and heartbreak for Macclesfield because their resistance has just been broken by Premier League Brentford. A Sam Heathcote own goal has put the Bees in front. And I tell you what, when you look at the stats of that game, Brentford have only had one shot on target of their own. So a brilliant performance from Macclesfield. They've got just over 15 minutes in order to try and get themselves back into it. It is live over on Talksport. You can download the app, swipe between the stations if you do want to hear that. In terms of the FA Cup, we had the fifth round draw a bit earlier, so let me take you through the ties that have come out of the hat, and there are some absolute crackers in here. Fulham will play Sunderland, an all-Premier League tie. Port Vale or Bristol City will face Sunderland. It's Newcastle against Manchester City, Leeds against Norwich City, Mansfield against Arsenal, maybe the pick of the ties there. Wolves against Liverpool, Wrexham against Chelsea, and West Ham will take on the winner of Macclesfield or Brentford. Currently, of course, it is Brentford who lead that game. A reminder, by the way, that if you missed EFL All Access with myself and Adrian this evening, you can listen back to the show on the TalkSport app, or you can find it as a podcast. It's really easy on the EFL All Access feed. We discussed Michael O'Neill's appointment at Blackburn Rovers. Video game stuff there as he carries on with the Northern Ireland job alongside. We also got stuck into Gary Rowett's impending arrival at Leicester City, who find themselves in relegation trouble. Let's see if Rowett can lift the Foxes out of trouble. You can listen back wherever you get your podcast. Just search EFL All Access. And I mentioned there that Michael O'Neill was one of our top X. He's live on TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow morning with Jeff Selling and Ali McCoy, so make sure you don't miss that. There's plenty of live football coming up, by the way, this week on the TalkSport network. Tomorrow night from 8 o'clock, Champions League playoff action. Benfica take on Real Madrid. Ian Danta and the former England striker Dean Ashton will be your commentary team for that one, whilst over on TalkSport, Adrian Durham takes you round the grounds with goals from the Champions League and the EFL. On Wednesday, it's Qarabag against Newcastle United in the Champions League playoff. That's live on TalkSport 2, 5:45 kickoff for that one. And then there's Premier League action later on TalkSport exclusively. It's Wolves against Arsenal in the Premier League, big one in the title race, of course. Thursday night, Fenerbahce take on Nottingham Forest in the Europa League playoff first leg. That's live on TalkSport 2. Commentary coming from Alex Crook and the former Forest defender Luke Chambers. And then Celtic taking on Stuttgart at 8 o'clock, also live on TalkSport 2. And then Friday night, Championship action, Blackburn against Preston North End. That is live and exclusive on TalkSport 2, an 8 o'clock kickoff. Commentary coming from Mark Wilson and the former striker Cameron Jerome. So the team's making their way back out here at the CBS Arena. At the moment it is advantage Coventry. Former Arsenal midfielder alongside me, Adrian Clark. What can Borough do to bring themselves back into this one?
Well, they've got to have the courage of their convictions to keep trying to play through, and once they do, I think they can get at the heart of this Coventry defence. They're very much in the contest. I've got no doubt about that. This is only, we're only at the halfway point, and I can see more twists and turns to come. But yeah, they don't need to change anything dramatically. I'll just say, be careful when you're passing inside your own half, because Coventry are on them and they're swarming all over them, so they've got to be careful. But I back them to put in a strong second half display here.
Well, we are all set to go. Let's hope that the second half was as good as the first, and hand you back to our commentary teams, the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark alongside Joe Shannon.
Thank you, Ollie. No changes at half-time as Middlesbrough get the game back underway. From left to right, all in red, and Coventry from right to left, all in sky blue. I'll remind you of the two teams in full in just a moment, but it's Coventry who are going top of the Championship, back top above Middlesbrough as it stands, leading by a goal to nil. Whittaker for Middlesbrough, left edge of the penalty area straight away, and now the ball is seized upon by Riley McGree, down the left-hand side, hoisting the cross, Whittaker with the header just over the top. A bullet header from in and around the 10-yard mark, and only a yard or so over Rushworth's crossbar.
Nearly the perfect start to this half from Middlesbrough. Riley McGree, he was pretty quiet, I have to say, in the first period, wriggles his way down the left, and he digs out a nice cross. And I tell you what, that is not a difficult header for Morgan Whittaker. He's a tall player, centre of the goal, and he gets underneath it. It never looks like it's going to dip underneath the bar.
11 goals for the season for Whittaker, who struggled for goals initially after joining Middlesbrough in the second half of last season. So Coventry 1-0 up. Their goalkeeper is Rushworth, on the ball now, finding Bobby Thomas. Van Eyck, Thomas, Latibaudiere and De Silva for Coventry. Onyeka and Grimes, Sakamoto, Rodoni and Mason Clark in support of Wright. And for Middlesbrough, Bryn is in goal, given away by Brown, and Ephron Mason Clark tries to shepherd the ball into the path of Haji Wright right down the middle, but it's taken a deflection and got out of play. Lots of Coventry fans still resuming their seats here in the early stages of the second half. Britton is the right back for Middlesbrough, on the ball now with Ayling, Malonda and Targett in the rest of the back four. Brown, Hackney, Morris and McGree, with Whittaker and Conway, the two up front. I'll give you both benches shortly, but here is Morris, mud on the back of his red shirt, angles the ball out to the left-hand side, and Targett, who has a very cultured left foot. We saw that on a couple of occasions in the first half, and it's all on Middlesbrough now to work a way back into the game and work a way back top of the Championship. They have started brightly in the second half here, and they're popping the ball about very nicely, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, they're quite patient, aren't they? Dominating, controlling the game. And what's noticeable is maybe a slight dip from Coventry in terms of the nature of their pressing. Are they going to stay in their shape a little bit more rather than try and get in the face of these red shirts in the second half? If that's the case, we might have a different type of match.
Well, maybe that's a risky game to play from Frank Lampard's perspective in what is the biggest game of the season so far for both teams. Sakamoto and Targett in a 50-50 challenge on the halfway line, and Sakamoto gets yellow carded. What was interesting is that the referee blew very belatedly for that free kick. In fact, he originally allowed Coventry to play on, and then Thomas Bramall seemingly changed his mind and pulled it back for a free kick to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, well, he's got the whistle. He can do what he
likes.
has
got the whistle indeed.
He's in charge of this game.
That's why I'm sat here and he's on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't be further away. It's quite a long way. It's right on the opposite side. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, I think Middlesbrough will be pleased with the way they've started this half. And if the pattern continues, they'll create chances.
I think he's handled the game very well, for what it's worth, in large part the referee. 1-0 to Coventry against Middlesbrough on Talksport 2. Coventry give the ball away. Half one back by Whittaker, cleared away by De Silva, sweeping high ball upfield, elegantly chested down by Ayling, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Still a lot of football to be played, not just in the season, but of course tonight. We're only 4 minutes into the second half, and already Middlesbrough have made a distinct impression on the game. Malonda, having his shirt tugged by Wright, managed to angle the ball back to Hackney, lip of the centre circle. Morris in a tight area finds Ayling. Ayling forward to Morris, dispossessed by the sliding challenge of Grimes, who's hurt himself there. Lunging in for the challenge. That Coventry number 6, the metronome in the middle of midfield. It's won back by Middlesbrough, and Targett out on the left. Now Hackney, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Hackney shuffles forward, gets the return pass from Riley McGree. They move the ball so quickly, Middlesbrough, it's difficult for the opposition to keep up. Out on the right, the near side is Britton, and he's blocked off by Ephron Mason Clark.
Yeah, look, Matt Grimes might have to have some treatment here. He doesn't want to go down, but he's limping very heavily at the moment. They don't want to lose him, Coventry. Oh, not sure about that one. Mason Clark penalised for fouling Hackney. I thought he robbed that cleanly.
2,000 Middlesbrough supporters away to the right-hand side. They're at home to Oxford at the weekend. Coventry away at West Brom. West Brom, who are relegation threatened. That's our live Saturday lunchtime commentary for you on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough seeking an equaliser. And the free kick is about 10 yards infield and 10 yards into the Coventry half. Whittaker stands over it, floats the ball forward, left-footed, high towards the back post, over the head of Malonda, the big centre-half, and Mason Clark will let it trickle out of play. The Coventry bench is Wolfenden, Torp, Eccles, Esser, Wilson, Bidwell, Kitching, Sims and the recent signing Markello. And the Middlesbrough bench unchanged from the Sheffield United win. Wildsmith, Fry, Gilbert, Hansen, Iber, Monroe, Sarmiento, Strelets and Sene. So plenty for both managers to call upon as we watch on from our commentary position, halfway inside the half to the left, about 10 rows from the edge of the pitch. Frank Lampard and Kim Hellberger not too far away from where we're sitting. The floodlights are on, it's a chilly evening, and Coventry are going back top as it stands. But there's a little bit of nervousness in the crowd now. Britton scampers forward down the Middlesbrough right. Early ball up the inside right. Brown cuts it across, and it's gathered by the goalkeeper Rushworth.
Yeah, it feels as if they're really on top of the game now, Middlesbrough, and that Coventry a little bit there for the taking.
Sakamoto has raced in field from the right-hand side. Grimes stands up well to the challenge of Whittaker. And the team in sky blue have it back. All the way back to Rushworth, who hammers a high clearance downfield. Wright going up for it, only half away by Ayling. Looped forward by Sakamoto. Rather clumsy, ungainly ball. And Middlesbrough win it back with ease. And they have possession with Morris midway inside their own half the field. There's just an increased sharpness about Middlesbrough 7 minutes into the second half. And you can sense the urgency in the crowd as they start to find their collective voice again, Adrian Clark.
Exactly that. I think the crowd sense that Borough are very much on top and that the players need them. They need the support of the fans here, who have been outstanding tonight. But yeah, they're doing a lot of chasing at the moment, the Sky Blues, not really getting their hands on possession, on the ball.
They have won it now through De Silva. Very well done in the left-back position to scoop beyond 2 or 3 in red. But as Radoni looks to break forward, he's had it whipped off his toes by Morris, who'll send it back to the goalkeeper. Blackburn against Preston in the Championship on Friday night on Talksport 2. I mentioned West Brom against Coventry. We've also got Wrexham against Ipswich and the Steel City Derby on Sunday. What a weekend of Championship football across the Talksport network. Britton, right in front of Frank Lampard, on the ball for Middlesbrough. Hackney teases it square on the halfway line to Morris. Everybody's interchanging positions with Middlesbrough. It's difficult with all of these rotations to keep track.
Yeah. Well, Luke Ayling just pops up in central midfield, doesn't he? He's the centre back. Yeah, it's so fluid. It really is. McGree, the left winger, central.
And Targett playing on the left wing at the moment. The full-back, Conway, tucks the ball backwards to Morris, about 30 yards from goal. Little 1-2 with Hackney. Coventry defending stoutly for the moment, leading 1-0. Targett out on the left, dummy by Hackney. Ball reaches the edge of the area where it's cleared long by Latabodiere. Ayling wins the battle easily above Wright. And the way that the game is panning out, you'd have to say it won't be long before Middlesbrough start to create more chances.
Completely, yeah. There's a lack of energy about Coventry in the second half. They're having a dip here.
Hackney skips beyond Onyeka. McGree's ball deflects into the path of Conway. Edge of the D is Brown. Through to Hayden Hackney with a low shot, and that's straight at the goalkeeper, either side of Rushworth, and he might have had a big problem. Still 1-0 to Coventry.
Yeah, not enough power either on the strike from Hackney. But they're looking to wear down Coventry, who are kind of resorting to just booting it long to Hadji Wright at the moment.
And Wright is in! It's 2! From back to front for Coventry City. Rushworth with the long ball and the assist. Ayling let it bounce. Bryn stayed on his line, and Hadji Wright tucked it away with his left foot. 2 for Wright, 2 for Coventry, totally against the run of play. Coventry 2, Middlesbrough 0. What a night for the Sky Blues.
Route 1 football at its very best, and what a finish from Hadji Wright. The goalkeeper launches it. It's 70, 80 yards. He lets the ball bounce and then he clips it on the half volley, left-footed into the far corner. An exemplary finish from Haji Wright. And that is a heck of a sucker punch from Coventry City.
Well, it really is all right on the night for Coventry. 2 for Wright, he's on a hat-trick, and we are top of the league is the chant from the jubilant Coventry fans on their feet all around the ground. It's harsh on Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Well, we were just saying they're resorting to long balls, but when the long balls are that good and that effective, then it's all good for Coventry City. They have done nothing second half, yet they've doubled their advantage.
He's got the referee gets in the way of Hackney there, and Hackney frustrated. Middlesbrough will get the ball back on the halfway line. He's got a tremendously powerful kick, Rushworth, with his left foot.
Talked about it earlier, didn't we? He can absolutely leather it, Carl Rushworth, and he got some distance on it. And look, they do take risks, Middlesbrough. They leave themselves one-on-one or 2v2 at the back, and Haji Wright is powerful, he's strong, he's quick, and as we've seen tonight, he can finish.
Riley McGree in towards Whittaker in the penalty area, chested backwards by De Silva towards his own goal and hooked away by Thomas. Top of the championship, Coventry 62 points, Middlesbrough 61, Millwall third on 56 as it stands. Ipswich on 54, they will have a couple of games in hand. Wright on a hat-trick, away on the left-hand side, checks back towards his own half, one back off his foot by Hackney. 2-0 Coventry lead as we head towards the hour mark on Talksport 2. Whittaker in the right wing position. Whittaker's half brought the ball down. Brown will spray it wide, right to left to the far side of the field, and forward by Target, diving header away by Latibaudiere, drops to McGree into the area. Alan Brown, angle is tight. Brown looks up, cuts it back, well intercepted, well retrieved by Onyeka. On his debut, he's been excellent, and he's fouled by McGree. Coventry get a free kick, and Middlesbrough are actually going to make a double change here. David Strelec, the Slovakian, and Jeremy Sarmiento, again on loan in the Championship, are going to come on.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, is there? From a Middlesbrough perspective. I mean, it was good defending, wasn't it, from Frank Onyeka? He has had a very strong debut. But yeah, Morgan Whittaker's going to make way. Not his night.
And Brown is the other player going off, and you can understand that change because Sarmiento, who has won back-to-back promotions in the last couple of years while on loan at Ipswich and Burnley, is much more of a direct wing player, Clark.
Yeah, he's more attacking than Alan Brown. He's a more natural winger. Strelec is more of a striker. So, they're going with the two up top, and they're bringing on a very exciting, talented young winger in Sarmiento. So yeah, he's gone for it here, Kim Hjelberg, and as he should.
Strelec, the tall front man wearing the gloves, and Sarmiento the winger, and Radoni really whipping up the Coventry crowd in the East Stand on the far side of the field. That cavernous East Stand, and it can be a real cauldron of noise, this stadium, when it gets going. 2-0 to Coventry against Middlesbrough. So the top two swapping places, and Coventry going top. Live on Talksport 2. More live football tomorrow. Real Madrid against Benfica in the Champions League. Qarabag Newcastle on Wednesday night at the same time on Wednesday. And we'll bring you Wolves against Arsenal in the Premier League. That is over on Talksport. You can't blame Kim Hjelberg for making the changes that he had. You'd almost give full marks to Middlesbrough for their second half performance, but one long ball. And Haji Wright, well, he had a lot to do with the finish, but my, how well he did it.
Oh, it's a great finish, because the ball's travelled a long distance, it's bouncing, and he strikes it so cleanly on the half volley. Absolutely no chance for Sol Brint.
Hackney with a good ball down the inside right. Britton with the low cross to the near post. Strelec was lurking. It's tucked away, out of play for a throw by De Silva. Quickly taken by Britton, short to Hackney, back out wide to Britton again. Now Sarmiento, long sleeve red shirt on, first couple of touches for the nippy, tricky Sarmiento. An hour gone, still 2-0 to Coventry. Infield ball by Hackney. Onyeka nearly stumbled but retrieved it on the edge of the area, clears long to Wright, who chests it back to Radoni, looking for Wright again, and the loose ball breaks to Radoni. The Coventry fans get to their feet on the near side. Radoni charging down the left. Wright is in the middle. Sakamoto as well, in towards the back post and steered away by Malonda. A third goal for Coventry would surely put it beyond Middlesbrough.
Oh yes, it's game over if they get the third, and they weren't far away. The ball ran kindly for Radoni. He was really patient. He looked up a couple of times, thought, no, I'm going to wait and wait. And he was free at the far post, Haji Wright. He'd made a nice little darting run. And but for Malonda, who is a top-class centre-back, that is 3-0, and good night, Borough.
Out comes Sol Bryn, all in sort of dark grey goalkeeping kit to collect on the edge of the penalty area. Do you blame the goalkeeper for that second goal? Ayling was certainly looking at him as if to say you should have come out.
It's come a long way, hasn't it? It has come a long way, the kick. I'd have to see the replay, but I suppose the ball is bouncing and it's in the area, but it's an easy one to pin the blame on the keeper. I didn't instantly feel it was a mistake from him. I just admired the finish.
Meanwhile, Middlesbrough all in red from left to right. Sarmiento jinking in field up to the right edge of the penalty area. Robbed by Grimes, he's been excellent. Early ball thundered up the middle, chasing his right again. Malonda lets it drop over his shoulder and into the path of the goalkeeper. This is EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order the delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary. 1-0 to Brentford at Macclesfield in the FA Cup 4th round, live on Talksport. Strelec for Middlesbrough, down the middle, running at goal. Strelec thinks about a shot, he's been forced wide to the left. McGree tucks it back to Target. Target square, now it's with Morris towards the left corner of the penalty area. Nudges it forward to Target again. Back to McGree, the number 8. I'm not sure why Strelec didn't shoot there as he was running up to the edge of the box. Middlesbrough have kept possession, but they need chance creation at this moment. Britton out to the left-hand side. Now it's Hackney scampering forward. Crossing by Target, headed away. Diving header by Thomas at the near post.
Great defending from Thomas. They had flooded the box with red shirts there as well, Middlesbrough.
And it stayed in play somehow on the halfway line, and Radoni's carried it forward and won a throw. Very different pattern of play, Adrian Clark.
Really different.
To the one that we saw in the first half. Nearly 31,000 here tonight as the attendance is announced here at the CBS Arena. Sounds like double that at times. But Frank Lampard's ploy of playing on the counter-attack has worked.
It has worked. Yeah, no, I think they're a team that play the counter-attacking style very well indeed. When you've got a striker like Wright, it works for you.
Sakamoto racing down the middle, and here is Wright on the edge of the area. Fires it a couple of yards wide. He saw the opportunity for the hat-trick, saw the goal looming up before him, and left-footed could not find the target.
I think it's an easier chance than the one he scored from. I really do. He had time to take a touch and to set himself right. And he just lost his balance at the key moment. He was leaning back and he slices it wide.
Meanwhile, here come Middlesbrough on the counter-attack. Sarmiento looking to flood through the middle. He's away from Onyeka. Sarmiento left corner of the penalty area now. Conway cutting it back to Morris. Morris 25 yards out. Shimmies forward into the edge of the 18-yard box. And the curling effort hits the post. What a strike. I think it was Sarmiento denied by the woodwork.
What an effort that is from Sarmiento. That would have been one of the goals of the season. Nothing was on there. The ball just ran loose and he whipped it right-footed. It's got pace, it's got curl, and it bounces off that far post. Rushworth was beaten there, and that is a let-off for Coventry City. Maybe this is going to be their night.
Well, it's a measure of what Jeremy Sarmiento can do. We certainly saw him score some important goals for Ipswich a couple of seasons ago, didn't we?
I saw him at West Brom. He scored a worldie at Cardiff, a game I was at. He is a talent, no question.
High ball by Bryn, the goalkeeper, swirling forward for Middlesbrough. Now it's with Hackney, 25 yards out, takes aim, and it's over the top. Well wide in the end, I think, from Hayden Hackney. Coventry 2, Middlesbrough 0, and we are 20 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, well, they're racking up the shots now, aren't they, Middlesbrough? It took them a while to get going as an attacking force, but they're having plenty of shots on goal now. 10 is the shot count for Borough, but just the one on target still.
It has finished Macclesfield 0, Brentford 1. So Macclesfield's gallant FA Cup run has come to an end. Brentford will play West Ham United away from home in round 5 of the FA Cup, and all the big FA Cup games live on the Talksport networks. Thomas sweeps it high upfield for Coventry. It thunders off the thigh of Ayling.
Unorthodox, wasn't it? I liked those. It worked. It was effective.
There's an elegance of sorts about it.
Yeah. But now Coventry are sort of sitting in their shape, aren't they? And just getting a little bit deeper.
And you can understand that as we head towards the final quarter of the game. 2-0 advantage for Coventry here. Mason Clark has held it up, gives it away to Britton. Firm but fair challenge. No foul on Mason Clark in a very congested area. Enough sky blue shirts back to smuggle it away. Heavy touch though by Latibodiere. Hackney picks up the pass for Sarmiento down the right. Not sure it was actually meant for Sarmiento, as Coventry clear it long up to right again, and he's giving Malonda and Ayling a torrid time. Malonda wins the header this time. Remember, Middlesbrough had won 6 in a row in the league. Coming into tonight, it really would be a statement win for Coventry, and most importantly a win that would take them top of the table and 6 clear of Millwall in 3rd in the race for the automatics. Strelec with a poor pass down the middle, but only half away by Thomas, retrieved by McGree. Now Morris, socks rolled down towards his ankles, and Hackney picks the ball up. Number 7, about 30 yards out, angles it wide. Britton on the overlap, low ball in, shot is blocked, rebound McGree in. 2-1. Riley McGree gets Middlesbrough back into the game. First to react, right-footed, smashed it into the top corner. Coventry 2, Middlesbrough 1.
Yeah, we have ourselves a game now. He has lashed this in. Riley McGree, one of the most underrated players in the Championship. Top class that was.
Well, you'd have to say, given the football that they played in this second half, they deserve it to Middlesbrough. There'll be a couple of changes here for Coventry. Radoni's going off, and Josh Eccles, who knows this club better than most, joined Coventry at the age of 7, is going to come on. And we'll also see Romain Essa replace Ephron Mason-Clark as Frank Lampard turns to his bench.
Yeah, understandable substitutions. Essa is a talented boy, really exciting winger. So he'll replace Ephron Mason-Clark, and Eccles is a good box-to-box midfielder. He's probably less attack-minded than Radoni, and that's probably what they need. He'll drop in and form part of a 3.
So there is hope for Middlesbrough here tonight. Still with over 20 minutes to go. Just the sort of game that we've been anticipating. The intrigue and the dynamism on Talksport 2, a joy to behold. Eccles, clever touch on the edge of the penalty area. Dinks in the cross, looked like handball by Target. Penalty! Had to be! Target raised his arm, and Eccles, with such an important piece of play, having just come on the substitute, he's won Coventry a penalty kick.
Wow. We said it'd be an exciting game, didn't we? And this has not disappointed. Wow, this is a huge penalty kick for Coventry City. And in the context of their season, my instinct was that the arm was out. It was close range, so maybe Target can argue that and say that that's a little bit harsh. He's whacked it at me from close quarters, but the arm was out. And the referee just took a beat. I was impressed. He just waited.
Yellow card for Ayling. He's had something to say to Eccles, and he's knocked the ball out of his hand. Referee did have a few seconds, didn't he, Clarkey, just to think about it.
Yeah, he took a beat.
Right, he's going to take it.
Yeah, so this for the hat-trick. Wow. Pressure penalty.
Hadji Wright with the CBS Arena on its feet. Some of the Coventry fans can't bear to look in front of us. They're turning away. It'll be right from 12 yards. This to restore Coventry's 2-goal advantage. Hadji Wright with a straight run-up, having scored the first 2 goals in the game for Coventry. Middlesbrough pulling one back through McGree. Now for Wright. Is this his moment? Right-footed, up against the goalkeeper Bryn. Hadji Wright. Is this the hat-trick here for Coventry? It is! Right into the bottom corner! Bryn dived to his right-hand side, but he couldn't keep it out. And this night will be remembered for the hat-trick from Hadji. Hadji Wright with a third. Coventry lead by 3-1, and the Sky Blues are soaring to the top of the championship.
Well, Coventry City were looking for a hero tonight, and they've found one in Hadji Wright. He's been outstanding. And that penalty kick was dispatched emphatically. Never looked like missing. He's whipped it right-footed into the bottom corner. Wow. What a game. What a performance from Coventry. And in particular their striker.
Well, you can't ask for more from a front man in a game of this importance. Hadji Wright, 2 with the right foot, 1 with the left foot. And the nerves of steel in that sort of situation, a pressure penalty, but no nerves. And Coventry can breathe a sigh of relief. They lead by 3-1. Credit Eccles in the build-up. Oh, here come Middlesbrough. Strelec is taken out by Grimes. That's got to be a yellow card. And it will be. And a free kick to Middlesbrough, about 5 yards shy of the corner of the 18-yard box. It was a pretty cynical foul, that.
It was a nice little dummy, actually. And Strelec was in, and Grimes knew exactly what he was doing. He sort of didn't trip him as such, but he made sure he got in his way. And look, I'm still not going to say this is game over.
Nope.
You cannot. Not with this Middlesbrough side, not with their attacking intent. And Hackney is over this, and Hackney has got so much quality.
4 minutes between the goal to get Middlesbrough back into the game, and Wright's penalty to make it 3-1. Free kick to Middlesbrough, right corner of the area. Hackney standing over it. Hackney delivers. It's gone all the way to the edge of the penalty area, where it's smuggled clear and away by Coventry. Scooped back in by Britton. A high looping ball to the edge of the box. Ayling went up for it. Hooked over his shoulder by Target. Hammered away by the Coventry left back Jada Silva. And the ball bounces over the halfway line. And Middlesbrough have possession again. Britton is midway inside his own half. Coventry 3, Middlesbrough 1. And, well, there were plenty of predictions before this game. I don't know whether many would have predicted that sort of scoreline. But after a nervy second half for Coventry in large part, they've got their 2-goal advantage back again.
Oh, well, you're not listening pre-match. I said both teams would score and that this would be Coventry's night. So, it's going all right at the moment, that prediction.
You're spot on, Adrian Clark, former Arsenal winger. No, maybe it was just my pre-match excitement. Here comes another Coventry change. Victor Torp for Frank Onyeka.
Yeah, I think fitness will have come into this. He's not had that much football, Onyeka, and he's put in a great shift, and everyone's standing around us. That's what you want to see when you just made your debut. Standing ovation from a packed CBS arena. So yeah, he'll never forget this night. Frank Onyeka, he's done his job, and now he's handing the baton over to Victor Torp.
I'm going to ask you something else about the penalty in a moment, Adrian Clark, but before we do that, Middlesbrough will take a long throw into the 18-yard box from the near side, the right. In fact, it's short in the end. Britton to Sarmiento. Back to Callum Britton, who rolls the ball backwards about 10 yards to the feet of Morris. Now Target sweeping it back out to the right. Good control by Sarmiento. Fizzes it in from the dead ball line, but it hits the side netting. And Frank Lampard applauds the Coventry defenders. On the Target handball, sometimes these stills can be misleading, but it does look like his arm is outstretched.
It's completely outstretched. The left arm. And that was our gut instinct, even though it's quite a long way away from us. And it was at relative point blank range, but maybe that there was enough distance. But he's clearly made his body bigger. And I think that has to go down as a really good decision. He's unfortunate, maybe, Target, that the assistant was over on that side and had the best view in the house. I suspect that the assistant had a say in that particular decision. But based on the still we've seen and our gut reaction, that was the right call.
And there weren't too many appeals from Middlesbrough in the event. Middlesbrough have it on the left, headed infield by the goal scorer McGree, but nodded clear after one bounce by Thomas for Coventry, who lead 3-1. And we've got 15 minutes to go after a thrilling night at the CBS Arena. And Coventry are not finished yet. Sakamoto on the halfway line, back to Grimes, who accelerated forward. The pass has deflected high, looping out right in front of us to the near side, and De Silva, level with the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area, tucks it down the left, chasing is Essa, back is Britton, gets a touch, that'll be a corner to Coventry.
Yeah, substitutes have come on and hit the ground running, haven't they? A good play there from Romain Essa, and of course Eccles was really bright and busy in the build-up to that penalty decision. It feels like Lampard has won the tactical battle here this evening, certainly with the pressing game in the first half, and then to sort of flip it around and play on the counter in the second. Both sides of their game have worked great.
Torp will take the corner for Coventry. In front of the North Stand, a sea of Sky Blues supporters behind the goal to the left. Torp delivers, dinked in right-footed to the near post, only half away, could drop down into the box for Latterberdier, but he's caught Conway from behind, and that's a free kick to Middlesbrough, who are running out of time, and surely a point would be the absolute best Borough could hope for at this stage. And Ailing's giving it away. Sakamoto down the middle. Sakamoto pokes it into the path of Torp. Very tight for Torp to try and control that. Middlesbrough breakaway upfield with Conway.
Yeah, great pressing again, wasn't it? It was really loose from Luke Ayling, but Hadji right. It's not just been the goals tonight from the big man. He has worked so hard, and he's won the ball back for the Sky Blues on numerous occasions in good areas. I think we know who our man of the match might be.
12 minutes to go, plus added time. Middlesbrough had possession, maybe still just about in this. Morris towards the right edge of the penalty area where McGree is standing. Now Britton infield from the right. Coventry with everybody back behind the ball. Early pass by Ayling. Strelec into the area. Left-footed shot gathered by the goalkeeper.
It's a handful, isn't he, Strelec? He's come on and he's made an instant impact. He's hassled, he's harried, he's made runs beyond the two central defenders for Coventry. He's been very, very dangerous, Strelec, but that wasn't the best shot in the world. Once he gets there, he has to do a touch better.
Yes, he wriggled away impressively, didn't he? But couldn't find really the power or the placement of the shot. Relatively simple save for Rushworth. Coventry heading for a first win in 4, and at just the right time. We'll be with Coventry at West Brom on Saturday lunchtime on Talksport 2. Hayden Hackney shuffling forward, dribbling into the penalty area. McGree from the angle. He's going back away from goal now, back to goal. Tees up Sarmiento. Sarmiento onto the left foot, and he's definitely fouled there by Eccles. No, says the referee. Eccles breaks forward. I thought that was an obvious foul.
Yeah, maybe Sarmiento just made too much of it. He did fling himself to the floor quite theatrically.
And now it's Van Eyck charging forward on the counter. Van Eyck trying to get the wrong side of the defender, who slides on his knees, McGree. And I'm not sure that was a free kick, but the assistant flagged for it and it was given.
Yeah, I don't like it when players sort of referee the games themselves. And he basically picked the ball up, assuming that the free kick was going to go his way. Forced the referee to give it, really.
Risky strategy when you're in your own penalty area.
Yes. Yeah, that is a good point.
Former Arsenal winger, EFL expert Adrian Clark is with us tonight on Talksport 2 on what could be a landmark night for Coventry. They do have a fabulous home record, Coventry. Only lost once here in the league this season to Ipswich Town.
Ever since Lampard came in, it's been a total fortress, really. CBS Arena, and I just love seeing it packed out like it is tonight. It's a really atmospheric ground. And, for so many years when they were in the doldrums and, didn't own the place, it was half empty, wasn't it? But it's just got such a strong vibe now.
Well, it is fit for the Premier League, this kind of ground.
Oh, not half.
I have to say. Another change for Middlesbrough. Off goes Conway, much quieter in the second half. Tommy Conway, and on comes Kali Sene for Middlesbrough. You get the sense for Middlesbrough that really Whittaker with that early header, if that had gone in, it would have been a very different second half. Still 9.5 minutes to go. But, Adrian, they're toiling a little here, and the absolute best they can hope for would be a draw somehow.
I think so, yeah. They'd bite your hand off for a draw here now. Their chins haven't hit the floor. They're plugging away. They're still dominating possession. But there's a little bit less zip about Borough. I think that third goal has took the wind out of them, which I think is understandable. As Haji Wright hits the deck, I think his race might be run here. The hat-trick hero. Do you think he'll get a standing ovation?
I think it's already beginning, and his number isn't even up yet. Haji Wright, it's Sakamoto going off first. He's going to be replaced by the new signing Genoa Marcello for his Coventry debut. And Wright, hat-trick hero, leaving the field, and here comes Ellis Sims.
Yeah, not a bad player to bring on, Ellis Sims. Sakamoto, such a good player. He's industrious, isn't he? He's busy. I think he's perfect for Frank Lampard's side. They've got a good squad, Coventry. It's not a massive squad, but there's not a big drop-off between the first choice and the next in line, and I think that's so important.
Onyeka and Torp, Wright and Sims. What a performance from Haji Wright, though, on an evening where Coventry really needed it from their front.
Yeah, one of the individual performances of the season.
Ayling's cross and a header well wide in the end by McGree, who continues to look a potent threat for Middlesbrough, who are 3-1 down, and the 2,000 away fans are going to have a disappointing drive back up to the northeast. The way it is standing at the moment in the championship table, and indeed it looks like this. Coventry 62 points from 32, Middlesbrough 61 from 32, Millwall 56 from 32, and then Ipswich and Hull both on 54. Both Ipswich have 2 games in hand and Hull have 1 game in hand, so nothing is done definitively tonight.
No, Ipswich will feel they're in the hunt, that they can chase down one or both of these two sides. I think a lot of people, myself included at various points, thought Ipswich would end up in the top 2, but they haven't shown consistency really at any stage of the season. There always seems to be the odd rogue result thrown in. I think we're watching the two best teams in the campaign so far, at least.
And isn't it brilliant to think there'll still be 14 games to go after tonight?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good ball, Hackney. Big diagonal out to the left. Target's cross, and it's straight at Rushworth. If he'd played it better, Sene would have had a tap in.
Oh, how cool was Rushworth? He
didn't even pick it up.
He could have picked it up, but he just controls it as if it's, the easiest thing in the world to do. It's, very calm.
As if it was a back pass. Van Avijk, good ball infield from the Coventry right. Looked like handball by Eccles. One back by Hackney. Anyway for Middlesbrough. 6 minutes plus added time to go. Frank Lampard will be delighted at the moment.
Proud as punch, Frank Lampard will be at this performance. They have given him everything tonight.
And the Coventry fans have given it everything as well. Into the last 5.5 minutes. Infield dribbles Britton. Back to Morris. Coventry with everybody behind the ball here live on Talksport 2. Morris away on the near side of the right. Early ball in field. McGree takes it down. Right edge of the penalty area. McGree on his... It was all left foot there, really, McGree. It needed a right foot. Out on the right-hand side is Sarmiento. Jinking onto his left. Back to Morris. Is it going to go into the area from Middlesbrough? Hackney finds McGree. Angle is tight. Tried to place it low through the legs of the defender, but a bit too close to Rushworth.
Yeah, it was a cheeky effort, wasn't it? from Riley McGree. The player was blocking him, so he had to go through the legs. Couldn't generate a huge amount of power, but it's a shot on target.
Just wonder, Clarkey, could they have done at times, Middlesbrough, with a little more of Coventry's directness tonight in key moments?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They've got their way of playing and they do it brilliantly. But maybe Coventry have got a more balanced style. They can flip it around and go two ways, whereas Middlesbrough haven't been able to do that.
Strelic raiding down the right, infield pass, and it's driven across goal. Big deflection on that from Morris. Hacked away by Esser. Thunders the ball out of play. Good run by Morris down the inside right. Picked out on the underlap. And it was a very tight angle. I think he was definitely trying to cross it. And it deflected away. And if Middlesbrough do get one in the next couple of minutes, then there is still hope.
Yeah, for sure. Because can you imagine how edgy this place will get? I mean, looking at the shot count now, it's 13-8 in Middlesbrough's favour. But the best chances, the big chances, have been Coventry's, haven't they, tonight? They haven't really missed a gilt-edged opportunity, Borough.
Sarmiento out on the near side, the Middlesbrough right, close to the dead ball line, drills in the cross, headed away by Thomas. Great defending at the back post by Esser, and a collision, head-to-head, Target and Esser. Both have gone down, and they're going to need the physios on here, I think. Both players. That was a really nasty clash of heads.
I was wincing from here. I mean, Esser's up already. Fair play. We're a long way away from the incident, but both men just want to get on with it. But I felt like that could have been a nasty clash of heads. Yeah, but they're ready to go, which is a testament to them.
Good initial header clear as well by Bobby Thomas, who I think has been excellent coming back into the team tonight. One of Frank Lampard's most trusted outfield players.
Completely. We used that word, didn't we, earlier?
Yeah.
At the start of the match, his trusted players came back into the team tonight. And Thomas is big because he's always in their best 11, Bobby Thomas. And he's been excellent this evening. But I look around the Coventry team and they've all given all that they can.
High ball downfield by Luke Ayling. Riley McGree is onto it. Riley McGree forced wide, lunging in with the sliding challenges Van Ewijk. And he had to time that well, and he did. Middlesbrough corner, 3-1 down, 2.5 to go.
Total commitment from Milan Van Ewijk. Gets that wrong. He wipes out the player. It's a clear pen. Outstanding cover play from him because McGree's in.
Hackney's corner will be right-footed and out-swinging. Everybody back for Coventry here, delivered in by Hackney, and the header goalwards, and Sene trying to turn it in, and Rushworth has pounced on it. Well, the flag was up anyway on the near side of the field. Maybe Sene was offside. I don't know how it stayed out.
Sene lost his balance at the key moment, didn't he? They lose the first contact, Coventry. Borough get their head on it, they glance it down, and you think, well, Sene's just got to tap it in. But he seems to fall over in the moment that really mattered. But as you say, the flag did go up and Coventry can breathe again, and we're into the last 90 seconds of normal time. This is whizzed by, this game.
And so much live EFL football to come at the weekend on Talksport 2. Strelic's pass down the middle towards Sene is going to trickle through to Rushworth. Coventry heading top of the Championship. Blackburn against Preston on Friday night. West Brom against Coventry. That's a massive game for all sorts of reasons. And Wrexham against Ipswich on Talksport 2 on Saturday. Two huge games. And the Steel City Derby on Sunday. Sheffield Wednesday could actually be relegated this weekend. They could be relegated by their closest rivals. Out on the right for Middlesbrough is Sarmiento. Raiding forward to play it square to Hackney. Hackney with a whipped cross. Overhit towards Strelic at the back post into the last minute of normal time. Coventry fans on their feet. They have a 2-goal cushion cleared away by Torp. Sims will chase with Malonda. Malonda just about gets there, being hassled though by Sims. Has to go back to the goalkeeper. 2 more changes on the way for Middlesbrough, but is it too late? Soncha Hansen and Finlay Munro are going to come on shortly. Seems a little strange, the timing of those changes.
Yeah, it's kind of
Hackney's into the penalty area now, left-hand edge of it, cuts it back to Morris on the edge of the box, and he fires it in low, and it's well blocked by Thomas. That man there again. As we go into 6 added minutes at the end of the game, Coventry are about to leapfrog Middlesbrough if the score stays like this, 3-1.
Well, yeah, it will stay like this if Bobby Thomas keeps putting in blocks like that. That was excellent from the defender.
Early ball in by Ayling, diverted away by Latabodiere. Coventry have been clinical when they've attacked and very good defensively. We talked about being clinical in both boxes. We've seen that from Coventry tonight. Morris meanders forward. Got a free chance to play the ball forward to the edge of the box. It's really poor. Scooped upfield by Torp. At the moment for Coventry, it very much feels like anywhere will do.
Yeah, they're just hoofing it on there, and it's attack versus defence. Wave after wave of red-shirted attacks, but yeah, they're doing a good job. They've shown excellent resilience tonight, Cov.
Riley McGree forward to Strelick on the underlap, dead ball line, pulls it back across, gathered by Rushworth, who goes down, having claimed the ball at his near post. Then he's quickly back up to his feet, just wasting away a few seconds. Another thunderous clearance by Rushworth downfield, chasing his Esser, header away by Malonda, only as far as Sims. Rushworth's clearances have provided a real outlet for Coventry tonight, and Victor Torp shove in the back. 4.5 minutes of added time to go.
Yeah, really good kicking from Rushworth all evening. His distribution has been first class.
Substitution for Middlesbrough leaving the field, number 3, Matt Target.
So off goes Target, and on comes Finlay Monroe. Now the other change sees the goal scorer McGree leave the field, and he's replaced by the Dutchman Soncha Hansen.
Yeah, look, Target will be feeling bad about the penalty concession, of course. McGree had a quiet first half, but he was excellent in the second period. He's a really good player. He just pops up all over the place, Riley McGree, but I think he's going to be on the losing side this evening.
4 added minutes to go. Coventry 3, Middlesbrough 1. Quite a few of the Coventry fans now starting to leave the stadium, confident the job is done. Free kick floated forward by Torp, headed away by Britton, flicked further clear by Sarmiento. Torp manages to whack it off the chest of Hackney, who's hurt himself, winded a little there. Hackney gets to his feet. Coventry throw right in front of the Middlesbrough technical area. Kim Hellberg, slightly resigned look on his face. We're that close that we can see the faces of the managers, and no real emotion, Clarkey, for Frank Lampard, but he will be feeling so proud of his team as it stands.
Yeah, we've seen him over the course of this season sort of salute the fans here at the CBS, haven't we, with those sort of fist pumps at the end of games, and I think he's going to be doing that again in a few minutes' time. But yeah, he's calm. I think he came up with the right game plan, and you're asking in these big games that really matter, you're looking for the players to step up a level, aren't you? Can you go up a gear for me? And they have tonight, and that's what will make him feel so proud.
We're on our way to the Premier League. Sing the Coventry fans. It's been 25 years since they were in the top flight. Is that going to end this season? Is it Coventry's year? 2.5 added minutes to go. Coventry 3, Middlesbrough 1. On Talksport 2. We'll be with Coventry on Saturday at the Hawthorns. Crossfield ball by Hayden Hackney is going to go out of play. And Middlesbrough will have the chance to bounce back against Oxford and Leicester. Back-to-back home games for Kim Hellberg, and it'll be really interesting to see, won't it, Adrian, what they do in those matches.
Yeah, definitely. What will Kim Hellberg do? Will he stick with the same team, the same way, or will he think about a plan B and trying something different? We'll have to wait and see. But they're two good games, I think, to come. At home to sides inside the bottom 3. You would imagine he'll get a good bounce back. But yeah, all eyes will be on Middlesbrough in those two games. Will they let this defeat impact their confidence or not? I don't think so.
Well, Coventry 90 seconds away from job done here on Talksport 2, and it's a slightly more relaxed finish to the game, with Coventry leading 3-1. If Middlesbrough are going to somehow get something, it would be an absolute miracle at this point. Monroe with a touch The new left back on the halfway line. Good sliding challenge by Romain Essa, typifying the Coventry approach tonight.
Yeah, made so many good challenges, haven't they? From beginning right to the end, they have been aggressive and hostile and hard to play against.
Ayling's got the ball on the halfway line. There are 45 seconds to go. Middlesbrough started the night top, but Coventry are going to go a point clear of Borough in the standings at the top of the league. What a race for promotion this is developing into. The ball is near the edge of the Coventry penalty area. Grimes tucks it out to the left back position, and it's away by Eccles upfield. Sims in a tussle with Ayling, one-on-one. Ayling back to Malonda, but Middlesbrough have run out of time here, surely. Britton in the right full-back position. The Coventry fans are on their feet all around the CBS Arena here. Beneath the floodlights, there are just seconds to go. You can hear the clamour for the full-time whistle from the Coventry fans. Ayling for Middlesbrough. They've run out of time. We've had the 6 added minutes. The ball is out of play. Marcello punches the air. The referee gives Middlesbrough a throw. Right in front of Frank Lampard. All eyes on Thomas Bramall. Middlesbrough have it with Britton. There'll be a great roar in just a few moments from the Coventry fans. Middlesbrough on the attack. Heavy touch by Hansen. We are top of the league is the chant. Sarmiento for Middlesbrough. Hoists in a high cross to the back post. Munro on the volley wide. That will do it.
Yeah, the game's up now for Middlesbrough. And look, they've given it everything. But tonight, they've been beaten by the hungrier team. The team that maybe just needed it that little bit more.
They are jubilant here. The referee has had a look at his watch. Rushworth. Coventry are back on top of the championship. A statement win and performance from the Sky Blues, and Haji Wright is their hat-trick hero. Middlesbrough dethroned at the summit. Coventry now a point clear of Borough, who slipped down to second. The Sky Blues 6 ahead of Millwall. What a night in the promotion race for Frank Lampard's team. Coventry will feel that normal service is resumed. They are back on top. And the great roar from the Sky Blue supporters signals that while there is a long way to go in the promotion race, this really was a vital step, a vital return of momentum to Coventry City. Middlesbrough's winning run, 6 league games on the spin it was coming into tonight, has come to an end, and you have to say on the balance of play, Coventry deserved it. 3 for Wright, 1 from the spot. McGree with what turned out to be ultimately a consolation for Middlesbrough. It is a night for Coventry fans to remember here at the CBS Arena. They are top by a point, but that's all that matters. Coventry 3, Middlesbrough 1.
Joe Shannon, thank you very much indeed. What a huge win that is then for Coventry City. Frank Lampard on the pitch congratulating his players, and why not? They were fantastic tonight, to a man. They've beaten Borough. They lead the championship once again thanks to some hat-trick magic from Haji Wright. They are top of the table on 62 points. Middlesbrough now second on 61. Millwall 5 points behind in third, with Ipswich and Hull just 2 points behind them. Adrian Clark, this game lived right up to its billing. But if Coventry fans who have stayed to party were concerned about their dip in form, about losing ground in the race for promotion, this result, but more importantly, this performance, was the perfect way to ease those fears.
Yeah, it's restored so much belief in this team, in the club, in their prospects of promotion, and you know, they showed a real togetherness tonight. This was a high-level game, played at a frenetic pace, but they were up to the task, weren't they? They were well organised. They steamed into Borough. They won the ball in great areas throughout that first half, and then once they had the lead, they said, actually, we're not going to press you as much this half. We're going to drop a little bit deeper, and we're going to go a bit more direct and hurt you on the counter. And they did that to great effect as well. We saw two sides to Coventry tonight, and both functioned excellently. Middlesbrough, they played their football. We know they're great on the ball. They didn't quite have enough tonight.
Well, the Borough players trudge off the pitch. You're right, Adrian, they were second best tonight. And such a good run of form, though. But surely, and this goes for Coventry as well, by the way, despite the fact they've got that 3 points, despite the fact that they are top now, they will be looking nervously at that chasing playoff pack.
Yeah, it's just about finding the consistency, isn't it, now, and marching on. But I do think that wins like this can get the win behind you, can't it? And I would imagine that Coventry will string, a lot of points together, a lot of wins together now. This was the kind of performance that champions, that promoted sides produce on the big nights. Middlesbrough just fell short, didn't they? They didn't have quite enough of a rounded game plan for me tonight. Plan A wasn't working great, and they couldn't really flick the switch and go a bit more direct and do something different. Maybe that was the difference between the two teams.
And sometimes, does it feel for you from a Coventry perspective as if there are moments in seasons, there are specific games in seasons like this one with so much hype around it that you can then use as a springboard to, in Coventry's case, rediscover that form they had at the start of the season?
Yeah, exactly. And it's goals that have been missing lately. They've been shy of goals. And this is a reminder that, hang on, we got great firepower. We got Hadji Wright. We got one of the most dangerous centre forwards in the division. And it's not just about Hadji Wright. Tonight will give confidence to the guys around like Rudoni and Sakamoto and Mason Clark. They'll all be feeling, like they've got a spring in their step when they take on West Brom at the weekend. So, no, it's an uplifting night, isn't it, for everyone of a sky blue persuasion. So many stayed until the final whistle, didn't they? Yeah, there were one or two that left early, but rarely do you see a stadium as full at the final whistle as it was here tonight. And that's because they wanted to salute the effort of these players. These players gave everything on a season-defining night, and they delivered for them. So well done, everybody.
Yeah, the Coventry players doing a lap of honour and lapping up the applause that they rightly deserve. By the way, those Coventry fans were singing to Borough fans, top of the league, and you messed it up after going 3-1 up, which was the same chant Borough fans were singing to Coventry fans at the start. And you get the sense, don't you, Adrian, that these two could swap positions a few more times before the end of the season?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing's won yet. There's so much more football to play. It wouldn't surprise me if these were the two that end up going up automatically. I can't think they deserve it, really. Middlesbrough have been a team reborn under Kim Helberg, and Coventry have been up there all season, and I think it'd be heartbreaking for them not to make it. So, yeah, look, Middlesbrough shouldn't lose heart. Coventry shouldn't get too carried away. But in the here and now, the fans here, the players, the management, you've got to enjoy nights like this. This was a special evening, and if they do go up, they'll look back at tonight and perhaps say that was the evening when we got our promotion campaign right back on track.
OK, time now to pick our man of the match with McDonald's.
Man of the Match on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability, price and participation may vary.
Really tricky tonight, I think.
So hard. I might go for Bobby Thomas. No, I'm going to go for Hadji Wright. I mean, it has to be Hadji Wright. I mean, the goals were great. I mean, the first finish was instinctive. The second one was fabulous. Left foot half volley across the keeper. And then the penalty was unerring. It was emphatic. But it wasn't just his goals. He would have been a contender had he scored one goal tonight, because his work rate was amazing. He won the ball back high up the pitch. He was an absolute menace to two of the most informed central defenders in the Championship in Malonda and Luke Ayling. So yeah, Hadji Wright was a one-man wrecking machine at the top end of the pitch tonight, and he absolutely deserves to be man of the match.
Hadji Wright, the hat-trick hero, then man of the match, of course. That was all thanks to McDonald's.